He spotted the player also. There's better use of the football by the Double Blues. They need to get the ball moving a bit quicker now. So Brucey Lennon on the outer wing comes towards centre half forward. Big lump from behind there. That looked like White. It was. Ball comes to ground. Good defensive use by the Bulldogs. Home onto the boot quickly. Lockwood again gets another possession. He handballs the ball forward. Coming out as Gurnham has been fairly quiet in that first quarter. Beautifully cut off there. Just trying to pick that player up coming towards me. So Conway, good handball over the top. Ends up with Lockwood again. Lockwood goes towards the goal. Just couldn't quite control his kick. And the ball brings up another behind.
Lockwood is absolutely dominating his position at the moment. He's in the air, he's taking his marks, and then he's working hard when he hits the ground, and he's picking up more possessions from just a good run. Pretty important for the Double Blues to get a goal here and stay right in touch. The next goal to Centrals might just open up the game. We anticipate a low-scoring affair, as the reserves was. Sorry, Mark. Threadgold long. Oh, and Thies was just magnificent. Feeds it off further to Atkinson. In turn has a runner going wide. Out there was Lennon. Back to Feast. They use their big man pretty well, don't they? They're not frightened to give it to him. He's pretty mobile, and Richter from 55. Great smother, Daniel. Great work. Ferguson around the body. A big high final lob right in the square. Big pack. Stanfield was underneath it. Judd snapped for goal, but he's offline. He's missed. Fantastic smother from Brett Daniel then. Shot on goal. Stopped it.
So 16 plays, 8 here. The 3.5-minute mark of the second quarter. Stewie Dew will kick the ball out. A prodigious kicker of the football. As you can see, he's just pinpointed McGowan inside the 50-metre square in the centre of the ground. McGowan's got to play it short, and Stevens, he goes that way, he finds him. Stevens turns around to his left leg. Within 2 kicks is in the forward line. And a good safe mark taken in defence.
That was a fantastic kick out from Stewie Dew. He's picked somebody out 60 metres off the boot. That kick went into the wind. I was going to say, a lot of people can kick 60 metres, but they float it up in the air. He kept it 60 metres, no more than 2 metres off the ground. It was just a powerful kick. Just quite outstanding, the talent he's got. And Powell rubbers one wide. Soderstrom finding support, gives it inboard. Irvin to Feast. And just a little short one. Ferguson on the grandstand wing. Scotty Lee just rounds him up like a sheepdog. Now he drills it in short. Archie was the target. Cotter just bustles him off it. Holm picks up the loose ball and drives it back towards centre half forward. Chambers was caught under the ball. It was a B-gate bounce for him. Powell is good enough and blasts one high about 50 metres towards centre half forward. Stanfield underneath it. Judd was there also. Dumped away, and the runner now coming away with that one is Saywell. Over the top to McGowan. Saywell's come on. Potter. Saywell back, run down by Atkinson, the leading tackler in the competition, and you can see why. Now, I'm not sure that was a great decision from Craig Potter. Put Saywell under all sorts of pressure then. So Weatherall. What's his nickname, Mark? Sockers, something like that, I think it was. So Sockers kicks the ball up. Good mark taken out by the big fella. That's White. Stanfield just received a little bit of attention there also. The ball has been kicked in from there. Bring up another behind. So Sturt, they're 1 goal 3-9. Central Districts, they're 2 goals 4-16. Sturt setting up a zone defence to the kick in. Stewie Dew's got a nice weapon though in that left leg of his. He can pick out a player a long way away. Okay, the weapon. There it is. Too easy. There it is. Look at that. Well, he just kicks it so long and straight. Players don't get a chance to get across to make a competition. Stevens, a long one. See how Stevens' kick floated up? Just put Chambers under a little bit of pressure. Richter mops up nicely. Nathan Irvin, the former Norwood player, who's found a home on the wing for the Double Blues. Now at half-back, a left footer. Drills it long and just misdirected in the direction of Ferguson. And Arnold marks. This fellow's improved. He's had a great season. I think Flood retiring and the fact that he's become the #1 ruckman really has allowed him to blossom. Atkinson streaks away with it, feeds it back to Feast. That's what I'm talking about, how they feed to their ruckman, who plays a kick behind play. Threadgold backs himself in, comes charging down the field. A switch of play to the far side. Soderstrom underneath it. Oh, Lennon it was, couldn't get there. Judd. Archie
Swatala did very well, forced it towards the line. Brett and Daniel over the top of it. Archer tries to come again, but Cotter flicks it out to home. Wider still, they're working pretty hard. Swatala short, and underneath this one, Saywell.
So over the top, coming out wide, Swatala. Swatala chips the ball forward, looking for the lead of Conway. Couldn't quite take it. Some good hands from behind. This is Powell. So Powell pushes the ball wide, finds Ferguson. He's paid the mark, end all the free kick. So Todd Ferguson, well down the field, is on the outer wing. He'll come towards centre half forward, looking for the big fella in Stanfield or White. Neither play got taken. A good mark taken there by Geister, who's wearing that jumper number 31 this afternoon. So McGowan to clean this up, beautifully taken down, taken a little bit too high. Laidlaw is a little bit too high on McGowan, so McGowan will get up, looking to give it off to somebody. He's got the player Lee out wide. Had a fairly quiet game so far, but you can never underestimate Scotty Lee. Kick wasn't good. Mark safely back there by Feast.
Feast distributes it wide. Ventura runs onto it. I'm having a look at the double blue forward line. It is very, very congested. They need just to create some space for Stanfield and White out there. They're giving them no room at all. Powell.
Both clubs are overloading their half-back line. Got an extra player running across the half-back line, and it's making it very difficult to break through those lines. And a lot of football played through the middle of the ground at this stage.
Nathan Irvin at half-back looks for a lead. None forthcoming, so he goes long and wide to the far side. Underneath that one, taking a good mark. Now there was Scotty Robinson. He's taken 4 good marks today. He was a terrific mark. That's his trademark. When he was at Norwood, he's going on with the good form here with the double blues. Stanfield recovers the ball. Herrera just tried to flick it back into play, and it might have brought him unstuck. And Stanfield bottles him up. Phil Carman, Mike, not all that relaxed.
Having a chat with David Tiller, a former captain of mine, who's been the runner at Sturt for the last couple of years. One of the interesting things that he does do is, as you mentioned, is the way he does play Feast. Feast, I think, has had about 12 kicks at this stage of the game. For a ruckman, that's a lot of possession.
Uncontested.
All uncontested, I might add.
Not all of them, but I mean, I remember one in the middle where it was nicely contested and very hotly contested. In other matches being played around town today, Port by a point over the Eagles, Norwood by 21 points over West.
AFL 8 update from the broadcaster here at Adelaide Oval. Ball comes down to McGowan. Feast again, he gets another possession. He's had 8 marks also that we forgot to mention. The kick's only gone as far as Daniel. So Daniel got the lead on, goes out that way. Good grab taken.
A lot of pressure there from Brody Atkinson.
Yeah, there was. He comes in board to Saywell. So Saywell's got time to steady himself. Disposes of the kick. Lockwood again's in there. Also Hicks. At ground level there was Powell. He's taken very quickly by McGowan.
And you can see just where that competition is, there was 4 Sturt players around that competition all ready to take the ball and run. Still overloading the half-back lines, still both teams struggling to get the ball to their full forward line and getting a shot on goal.
Feast dumps it down, Patura misses it, Laidlaw comes away with it, now gets off the handball, Atkinson in turn to Patura, further afield the handball goes out to Robinson, high over the top, it was a clever one to Lennon. A long ball out to the outer side, Herrera, big fly and a thump from behind, did it pretty well. Ferguson unmanned. Stanfield comes again, gives a second effort. Potter, great commitment over the top of the ball, copped the heavy one, goes to ground. I think it was Ferguson who cleaned him up. And he was just run over like a tractor.
And he got straight back up again as well. That was a heavy knock.
So again, we'll see the umpire come. He throws the ball up. Central's by 7 points. Stanfield quickly down the ground was Weatherall. Couldn't quite get his boot to it. Judd quickly off the ground. Girdham's had a very quiet afternoon. Atkinson, on the other hand, has been on everything. So Saywell decides to back himself. Bit of pace. Again, Weatherall's in there. Through this time, throws it onto his boot. It's gone up forward. The double blues forward line just playing behind at the moment, which I just think maybe mightn't be the right option.
No, they really do need to do something a little different just to get the ball through that half-forward area.
They're not breaking the lines, and nobody's allowing the runners to actually run. They're all under pressure. Saywell gets a kick away. It's been a great defensive game. Potter pulled off the ball by Laidlaw. It was a good tackle. Now McGowan flicks one out in the direction of Gurdon. Missed the target. Chambers comes again. He's finding a little bit of space, this young fella, to Lockwood. A difficult one to take on the half volley. Butters up again. Soderstrom and Lockwood. What a battle that's been. And Soderstrom just locks it in.
Just brute strength there, wasn't it, by Soderstrom?
I can't believe Glenelg letting him go, you know. I can't believe North Adelaide letting him go. He's been a pretty fair player at both clubs. And Phil Carman will tell you he's been terrific for them.
Just his skills let him down under pressure occasionally, and I think that's the reason that, I know that was the reason he was let go from North Adelaide. Glenelg's thinking, I can't tell you, but he has been a good player this year.
Good crowd here at Adelaide Oval, enjoying this hard-fought contest. Powell around the corner. Now that's been a criticism of him in the past, hasn't it? He's just been prepared to kick around corners rather than straightening up. Paredes off the ground. That was very clever. I think he knew what he was doing too. And Swatala was surprised how quickly it came, but he was still good enough to take it. The skill level was high. Pachura's done a great job on Hicks. Mark him down for the job he's done. Hicks was outstanding last week with 6 and hasn't had a sniff at all today.
No, Pachura is doing a fine job there. I had him marked down as one of my better players at quarter time, and he's continuing with that through the second quarter.
Big grab. Stanfield out front. Just got a little nudge towards the end. He'll receive the free kick here.
Wouldn't be easy for Stanfield, Mark. He doesn't know any of the players. He hasn't trained with them.
There'd be a lot of hay and mate going on out there, I think.
Kick to me. Kick to me.
So Barry Stanfield. Good kick. Big fella White comes out. The player that I've been impressed with in the early days. So White just chips the ball out. Good chance here. Good score from behind by Dew. Been shifted from the full forward position to the back pocket. Draws place, hit as he gives it. Daniel ends up with it. Daniel head down, kicks the ball forward. There's a bit of a fight on behind play between Dew and also Ferguson. The umpire is there with him. We'll get back to the action. Scotty Robertson's got the ball. He'll come inside. Finds Feast for his 10th mark of the afternoon. Feast goes towards the goal mouth. Stanfield from behind. Arnoldson there also. So is White. Whether or Lee comes out with it.
Lee flicks it in through the midfield. Chambers finding plenty of the ball. He's playing well in the second quarter for the Bulldogs. A long bomb towards half forward. Underneath this one, Hicks and Pachura. Dead heat that one. Nobody get a clear winner. Hicks just bustles it forward, pushes it on. Powell comes again. Conway over the top of it. You can see the discomfort in his back. He could hardly get down. Almost threw it away. And what did the umpire say? A free kick to Powell. The umpire said he did throw it away. Swirling helicopter ball, that one, a difficult one. McGowan read it beautifully. His hand-eye coordination is outstanding. Gurdon, outside 50, needs a lead, goes long and wide, and look at this, dropping back underneath it is Hicks, who's got clear. Well, he can be quiet for a moment, Mike, and then he'll cut you to pieces.
That's right, he's been very well held. We've just talked about that, but then he's just got such talent.
One kick, one mark, one handball.
Yeah, that's hats off to Mature, isn't it? He has done a good job because I think we all recognise that this guy is going to be an AFL player. He is an excellent talent. But if you kick a goal here, starting to put a little bit of space between the two scores.
Oh, look at this. I was just about to say he kicked 6 goals 4 last week, but he didn't even need to do that as Holm came in from centre half forward into a hole and just marks about 30 metres out directly in front.
The little scuffle you talked about before, David. Stewie Dew took exception to a Shepherd that was maybe a touch late.
Ferguson came in at him. We might have vision of that for you later. And the thing I liked about Stewie Dew, at 17, he got straight up and got on with the business. He said, I didn't like that.
Did he let them know that he wasn't comfortable with the goings-on?
Well, he's not going to tolerate it. So Holm, the Tasmanian recruit, straightens the leg, goes long but wide. It's only a point. So Central, 2 goals 5. Sturt 1-3. The Double Blues are still in touch.
They are.
Other matches around town today. Port by a point over the Eagles. Not much in that game. And Nord by 3 points as West are fighting back at Norwood Oval.
The Stevenson game comes in on his left leg, inside 50 metres. He goes for the goal square. He has, I think, he's just dragged it across the face again. Another behind. The cloud is starting to build up here at Adelaide Oval. Rain could be pending. So any goals that are kicked in these sort of conditions really are worth 2 or 3. at the end of the day. So the ball goes out a bit wider. This is Feast. He kept it inside. Which way the umpire say no? It was taken out the other side of the boundary line. And will be. Oh no, he's paid the mark. For Simon Feast. 13 kicks, 9 marks, 2 handballs, 15 possessions so far. The 16-minute mark, 17-minute mark of this second quarter. The Raider kicks the ball forward.
That's a heavy knock too.
Gurdon, the long sleeve Guernsey, comes out wide to Sewell. He runs through the centre of the ground, chips the ball forward, markedly taken by Hicks. Chambers is in there as well. Again, we see number 28, Craig Potter, apply the tackle.
Again, the defensive skills of Couture to get his hand in there and prevent the mark. Excellent under pressure. Really impressed with the way he's playing his footy.
Yeah, Robertson wasn't going anywhere and had the good sense just to bottle it up. So too did Couture there. Chambers, great tackle. So the tackling by both sides has been fantastic. Couture's 5 kicks, 3 handballs, 5 marks. So he has been very solid today. Feast gathers it down. Look at it, 2 tackles. Lockwood was there and Potter was the other applying the tackle.
I know that Sturt are the least tackling team, lowest tackling team, have the lowest tackle count. I'm not sure how I'm
saying as a team, but Brody Atkinson is the leading tackler in the competition.
By a stretch, so that says a lot about the rest, but I think they're getting the game done today.
It's been played like a final, hasn't it? Soderstrom, there's a free kick behind play though. Umpire's picked out an infringement, he'll bring the ball back. And it'll go to Gurdon, who just copped one.
You'll have to tell me what happened there.
Any judge.
Against Gurdon, who must have given it. The umpire was pointing at Gurdon. I thought he was giving him the free. So Judd gives it off to Laidlaw, who goes wide to Archie, front position in front of Cotter.
Yes, good mark, good grab.
Not bad, was it?
That was good balance as he fell to the ground. Lost it to start with. Oh yeah, good reflexes.
Held onto it nicely. Deep into the forward pocket. Underneath one, Ferguson and White. Geister got back underneath that one. Forced it to ground. Weatherall tries to get through. Gives it off. Brody Atkinson on the left foot. Puts it to the point of the square, but underneath this one, a Raider called to play on. The umpire said it was touched. An opportunity now for Judd. Can he get clear? He straightens up, shoots for goal. One step, just not enough accuracy, not enough power, and offline and through for a point.
Yeah, there's plenty of pressure coming though from Stevens.
Stevie Wright wasn't too happy with that, Michael.
No, he wasn't yelling it, but he was scratching his head and shaking it a fair bit. So he did have a few problems, I think. A little bit to think about with half-time coming up. Things aren't going as well as Centrals may have planned on form coming into the game. Only 8 points in it. So see what happens. Stewie due to kick in again through the zone defence of Sturt, which looks pretty tidy.
So Stewie due again for the 3rd time this quarter. It's just pinpointed the player there. This time he found Saywell. Just one quick stat is that no goals have been kicked in this second quarter, fellas. We've had 7 points registered so far. So one of my favourite little players there, Brody Atkinson. Very clever, very smart footballer. Does not waste too many possessions. The ball comes in. Just taken out of the air. That player in Stanfield. Not used to seeing him in a double blue Guernsey. Take a while to get used to. We see Dew cross the ball to Cotter. Cotter comes inboard. Good and strong mark taken. Once again there by Robinson.
They gave Stanfield an instruction booklet on how to lace up his jumping mark. White missed it. Geister missed it. Archie didn't. Chips it around the corner. A high ball. Underneath this one, Ferguson bodies. Body on body did pretty well. Good contest over the top of that. Scotty Lee just held the ball and did it pretty well in the finish.
Scotty Lee knew exactly what he was doing. Stevie Wright's not sure about what anybody's doing by the look of those fingernails, taking a hammering.
I think he's just not happy with what he's seeing. The structure, the run, but take nothing away from Sturt. They are hammering in at every opportunity. Gang tackling, holding the ball in the area pretty well. It's not allowing Centrals to get their running game going at all. Scott Lee gets one away. Good work, Irvin, over the top of it. Stevens comes in, strips it away. Got legged as he went, but the umpire called the advantage. And Gurdon flicks it off towards centre-half forward. Hicks underneath that one. Patura, just a good body. Feast off the ground, another stat. He is just knocking them up. Goes long and wide to the boundary. Swatala just inside the line. Can't get there before the ball, and again, we'll have a throw-in.
Simon Feast, 15 kicks, 2 handballs, 10 marks at the 20-minute mark of the second quarter.
I didn't get those stats in my career.
Nobody's arguing, David.
Not to mention his knockout so far as well, boys. So with the ball coming inside, Patura onto his left leg, thumps the ball high, Stanford behind, uses his body well now, umpire, come on. He got some use of the body. Oh, yeah, I'll take that back. Retract it, retract it.
Glad you're not an umpire.
A Raider. High ball. Right, was a bit critical of the way they were using it going forward in that first quarter. Actually, what do you call it? A dumb kick of the football going forward. The players weren't using their head, just saw Herrera then just blast the ball into the air. Gave his forwards no real opportunity to mark the ball. So back in the centre of the ground, the umpire continually throws the ball up, giving both ruckmen an opportunity to grab it. Ball goes out wide. Herrera will be first there in front of Stanfield. Kicks the ball towards the outer wing, and will beat all players out over the boundary line. And the two other games being played this afternoon. Port and Eagles at Adelaide Oval. The Eagles are up now by 10 points. So a bit of an upset there so far. And Norwood, out at Norwood up by 2 points. So the Western the Bloods have come back. Again, back with a Raider. Good smother off the boot. Stevens will be first there with Scotty Lee. Stevens comes up with it, kicks the ball up. Hasn't gone that far, and again, you see that player in Nicholas Laidlaw. But Laidlaw and Robertson have had a very good second quarter.
Laidlaw flicks it out. Stanfield underneath that one. Herrera has worn Stanfield like a glove today. It's been a great job, and Herrera's second effort on the tackle was quite terrific as we go down to Rob Popplestone on the boundary.
Thanks, DB. A change to be made by the Double Blues in a few moments' time. Todd Ferguson will leave the ground for the Double Blues from full forward. Coming on will be Julian Burton.
Julian Burton, of course, the former Port Adelaide player who's found a home the last 2 or 3 years for the Double Blues. He's played pretty well as well. Off the ground, and that was Threadgold. Ferguson off, hasn't got a goal. Kicked, 2-1 last week against Norwood. 5 possessions first half, and the coach just tries another option. Potter. From just inside the line, looks for an option, centres it up. Feast was up, Laidlaw brings it down. Loose ball, Laidlaw goes back after it. McGowan claimed, pushes it out, did pretty well in the finish. Scotty Lee forced on the left boot, goes towards goal. He's drilled it, or was it touched on the line? Threadgold got back and just got a hand to it. Well done, Chris Threadgold. That's skipper's touch.
There's a lot of pressure on Central Districts now as they try to get another score on the board. Scotty Lee on that left boot. He loves to kick a goal too. Hasn't kicked a lot in his career. Disappointed with that.
Averages 1 every 4 games. He won't like you saying that.
That's not a lot of goals in my book.
For a back pocket, it's not bad.
Very good. Patura out wide. The running Patura on the outer wing. Kicks it up forward. Once again from behind is White. He's taken the grab. So fortunate to grab, as you can see, good juice of the body.
Now, Mark, did you have this fellow in your AFL reports?
Yes, I did. He was well up there. And a mark's taken right in, set 5 metres out. So we hear the half-time siren here. It's a 9-point margin at the moment. We may just get Mike Parson just to summarise the first half of football here before Barry Stanfield kicks it.
It really, really has been a battle of defences. From half-back to half-forward, both coaches put an extra player into the half-back lines. Run it forward, really had trouble going for the line as Barry Stanfield kicks the goal, and that, I believe, is the first goal of the quarter, so really highlights what we've been saying about it being a defensive struggle. 2-4-16 to Sturt, 2-7-19 Central Districts, a 3-point lead. Central Districts really have been under pressure and not probably the position that they would have liked to be as they walk off the ground here at half-time.
So 1 goal 3 that term to Sturt. Centrals could only manage 5 points. At half-time at Adelaide Oval, it's Central 2 goals 7-19, Sturt 2 goals 4-16. You're watching all the action on ABC Sport. Well, it was a great win last night, wasn't it? Port Adelaide were just fantastic over Essendon. The final margin, 50 points. If you're sitting at home watching it, you would have seen the incident where Gavin Wangadine got reported. jumped in to Ben Doolan's back, and Rob Popplestone saw the incident. Rob, we've talked about it. You think it was reportable. There wasn't even a 50-metre penalty last night. I think it'll be one of the talking points of the week.
Look, it will be, because the importance of Gavin Wanganeen to that Port Power side, it goes without saying. His efforts last night probably changed the game just when Essendon looked as though, or appeared as though they were going to come back into the game, and Wanganeen did what a captain needed to do, and that was to change the game, and that was the best way he thought to do it.
Scotty Hummins kicked 7 goals 6 last night. That was one of his goals. You just saw there, Wanganeen kicked 4. He was absolutely outstanding in the first half, wasn't he?
He was great, Cummings, wasn't he? I think that meant a lot to both players. Wanganeen and Cummings, obviously ex-Essendon players. They both performed admirably.
They got off to a good start. Cotton got one. And Fletcher gets one back as Michael Parsons joins us. Mike, Essendon, I think they missed the target. They looked pretty ordinary. There was a comment by Tim Watson last night, which I agree with. They looked like they were dispirited and playing without passion.
They were. I mean, Essendon have been such a power.
There's the Wanganeen incident. You be the judge. Now, he was committed to the ball. Great contest. No 50-metre penalty. The crowd went up and Wanganeen gets reported. Now, there's nothing in that. It was just staged. It was absolutely staged.
During the game, that was the question I had. Was he reported for the charge, or was he reported for the little tete-a-tete afterwards? I'm not 100% sure.
For the charge, I believe. And if he gets reported for that, well, we may as well just turn the game into basketball.
Yeah.
But it was a great win. Harvey spent most of the night on the bench. This is one of Wanganeen's goals. He got the ball out of the middle and just chipped it along. Good shepherd in the goal square by Heaver, and it goes through. It was just similar to Nathan Buckley's goal just a couple of weeks ago, and John Carr was pretty happy in the finish. And there's the final scoreboard. 10-12-72 Essendon, 18 goals 14, 122 Port Adelaide.
First win in Melbourne, they'd have to be pleased, and I think everybody with anything to do with the Port Adelaide Football Club, from administration through to supporters, got to be happy with the season so far.
Well, it sets it up, doesn't it, beautifully. Port Adelaide and Geelong next week at Kardinia Park. I suppose we're looking forward to it. It's now turned into one of the biggest games of the year, with Port sitting second and Geelong on top.
An absolute thriller of a game. It'll be very interesting to see how they can come up again. If they can get that win, then they can really start talking about September action.
Rob, Port Adelaide's run home. They've only got 2 games at home out of the 5, and one of them technically is a game against the Crows, which is not actually a home game.
Well, that's right, DB. It promises to be a great run home. It's interesting, isn't it? I think it's going to be fantastic if possibly Port Power play the Crows in a final. I think it's going to be run. Look, there's no doubt Port Power and Adelaide Crows now, you can safely say we'll make the final 8. I know it's going to go down to the wire, but... Yeah, I'm not sure that you can actually see that with the rain coming down on the boundary line, but round 18, it's Geelong at Kardinia Park, then showdown to Adelaide and the Power at Football Park, a big match, then Brisbane at the Gabba, Richmond at the MCG, and St Kilda at Football Park. You'd have to think they can win 2 or 3 of those and possibly host a home final. If they can win 2, they will obviously be in the running. If they can win 3, they will host a home final. Now, how are you feeling down there, young fella? At the moment, I'm thinking about doing the breaststroke. Now, I can't see your head. Can you just take that silly hat off? Oh, look at that. It's crazy, Danny. Well, at least we know that it's raining. You want the job next week, Mike, on the boundary?
I'm very comfortable up here. Lovely accommodations at the Adelaide Oval.
Oh, I'm pretty happy up here, I can tell you as well. Well, it places an interesting question, Rob, doesn't it? Home finals for the Crows, if they can finish in the top 3. Port Power, if they finish in the top 3. But if they're 4th, there's no guarantee that either of them will get a home final. Look, I think that's fair enough, probably because of the agreement, obviously, with the MCG needing to be used for one of the home finals. I think, the fact that, I suppose that adds to the Crows' want to finish in that top 3, because we've seen in previous years, those sides that can finish up towards the top and get a home final, they more often than not win those games and get an easier passage into the grand final. Well, Mark Nally has a bit of a bee in his bonnet about Geelong. They finish on top. Why don't they have a home final in Geelong? It's an interesting question, isn't it?
It is a very interesting question, and the whole question of the way the structure of the league is going to go over the next couple of years, particularly with the new Docklands Stadium coming on stream, and a comment of Wayne Jackson saying that, well, maybe we should move the administration up to Canberra so that we carry the national perspective through, because he wasn't real happy with a couple of comments made from Tony Shaw, coach of Collingwood. Interesting, Mike. Do we take the view that perhaps if Hawthorn in the finals, we play it at Waverley? If Geelong, we play it in Geelong. If Adelaide are in, we play it in Adelaide, and Power and West Coast and Subiaco and so forth. I mean, are we going to adopt the American system where you earn the right to a home final? in all the other sports that played on a national basis in Australia, it really does follow that. The one spanner in the works there is the AFL's long-standing commitment to the MCG to always play a final there every weekend.
That's going to expire, though, isn't it? Now, what happens when that expires? I think it's 2010 or thereabouts. Now, that'd be an interesting one. You could almost tender for it much the same we do in Olympic Games or a Commonwealth Games, and that's going to throw the cat amongst the pigeons. So the Victorians will have to sort of put a proposal to host a grand final.
And that will really take a lot of adjusting as far as some of the mindset of the Victorians that still even call it the VFL, I think, but it truly is a national competition now. The Adelaide teams are doing exceptionally well, and one of the points that I'd like to make, I mean, the economy of Adelaide seems to be turning around at the same time the form of their football team's turning around, so it is a critical part of the Australian way of life, having a successful team in your town.
Well, the Americans have known that for years. As we have a look at tonight's match, the Crows take on Richmond at Football Park, and Mark Naley, you remember we cast our mind back when Richmond played the Crows earlier in the season, and Malcolm Blight absolutely went ballistic at his number one ruckman.
Yeah, he did too in young Pittman, but we see him lining up there again. We are this afternoon, but the Adelaide Crows, they're just not in full gear. I mean, last week up against Brisbane, they played in the sunny conditions, and tonight at Football Park, it'll be wet, it'll be hard, and it'll be a slog there, short night. But they need players like Costa, to lift his game a bit. Jarman in the middle has been up and down. Last couple of weeks before last week's game wasn't too bad, but you see Sampson coming in for his first game on the other wing, and also Rintoul. But the key players there are definitely Pittman. He has to fire. Rashudo has to fire. Bickley has to fire. Costa has to fire. McLeod. I mean, who else is left on that side who I haven't mentioned? Peter Vardy there on a half-forward flank. The Adelaide Crows, I just feel tonight they're going to come up against a very aggressive and hard-working Richmond side.
Yes, well, as we have a look at the Richmond side, Broderick in the middle, an important one. Richardson, who had his focus questioned last week against Geelong, having a bit of a dip at a spectator. We'll cover that later in the half-time break. Bullis, our own South Australian from the Eagles, at centre-half-back, has been in pretty good form apart from injury.
Yeah, Bullis has got exceptional defensive skills, and he'll be key there, because for the Crows to win this one and win it comfortably, they really do have to find some ways to kick goals besides Tony Modra. If it's wet and slippery, you don't like his chances of taking too many marks, so they really do need to find some ways to kick some goals.
Poppy, I put it to you that Richmond's height has been a problem historically for the Crows, but in the wet tonight it might be an advantage that the Crows are a little shorter.
Well, you're spot on, DB, and I'd suggest that this rain looks like spending most of the day coming down as well. It will be slippery and wet conditions tonight. Adelaide Crows have got some good runners, and we all know they play the Football Park arena very, very well.
They do. One player we need to make mention of tonight is Mark Rashudo, who plays his 100th game for the Crows. He debuted against Hawthorn in the end of April in '93. He's kicked 59 goals in his 100 games, and he's only played 26 games in the SANFL. So for a kid who hasn't played a lot of games, he's certainly made a real impact, hasn't he, Mike?
Yeah, he's got some real football ability. He's got that big, strong body. He goes hard at the ball. And again, in the wet conditions that we would expect tonight, you would think that Mark Rashudo having a good game would be essential for the Crows to get a win.
Congratulations to Mark as we go down to the boundary line again. Fellas, your tip for tonight's game, the Crows or Richmond?
Adelaide Crows, I think, David, I just think that they have got too much to play for. I mean, they're looking for to get a home final. Thank you with that. I'm trying to keep myself dry down here. It is terrible conditions.
What about you, Rob? You fancy the Crows?
Oh, look, I think the Adelaide Crows... Oh, gee, this is right. I think the Adelaide Crows will win, and they've got a lot to play for, haven't they? A top 3 spot, a home final, and they should do it in these treacherous conditions quite comfortably.
Good on you, Mike. Rob, Mike, you?
Yeah, I think we'd have to go to the Crows. I think you'd be silly to pick against the Crows against Richmond, particularly at Football Park.
Fair enough. Hard as Nails comes at us every week about this time, and Mark, today you're talking about the Greg Williams and the Supreme Court decision.
Yeah, we just see that's been mentioned again this week. We just see Greg Williams yesterday in the Higher All Appeals Court. They overturned the decision going back about 6 weeks ago when it was thrown out. Now, Greg Williams, you just see this. I mean, the incident there is just pushed the umpire. Tell me, is that worth 9 weeks? I don't think so. I mean, you just see. I mean, it was about 2 weeks ago we saw Johnson there also go for a very similar decision. He went for 3 weeks. So I think it's time that this week, let's just cut out the nonsense. This week it's open the appeals board for the tribunal. Let's just squash it. Just admit they made a mistake there. Get rid of the 9 games. Give him 3 games. He'll be happy. The AFL will be happy, and I'm sure the Carlton Footy Club will be happy as well.
Okay, the other one you're talking about is Tony Lockett this week was fined, we believe, somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000 for wrestling. You're not happy with that?
How ridiculous is that? $10,000 for a wrestling incident. Now, that is ridiculous. I mean, you can't tell me that you're going to wrestle on the ground. As you can see here, there was about 10 players involved. Tony Lockett's the one that's come out of it with a $10,000 fine. How stupid is this? They're over-officiating these games these days. It's high time the AFL get off the players' back and honestly, just let it go. Especially this time of the year. I mean, we only got about 6 weeks until the finals coming up. You just can't, just give a little bit of leniency. For God's sake, please do, because the players at the moment, they're frustrated, and I'm sure the supporters are as well.
Now, we saw last week Matthew Richardson at Geelong, heckled by a Geelong supporter, went back after him. Phil McGuinness did the same thing when Port Adelaide went out to Central last week. You concerned about player welfare or spectator welfare?
Well, maybe a bit of both there. I mean, last week we saw at Elizabeth, we saw when he was coming off the ground there, McGuinness was maybe just pushed and shoved by a few players and pretty hot. I mean, Portworth thumped last week. We see Richardson here also, just on screen at the moment. He wasn't too happy with the attention that he received. I mean, ugly scenes. I mean, we see here, we see the player coming across now. No need for McGuinness to be able to do that, but then we've got security guards at the moment looking after the umpires. We've got security guards behind the goalpost. We've got security guards everywhere. Well, possibly, I mean, the security guards weren't too far away from that incident. They should have stepped in and maybe just protected McGuinness and possibly, just reminded that spectator that he shouldn't really get inside that player's space.
Now, not on my normal agenda, but I've got to ask you, home finals, you think it's the right way to go for the AFL, for teams finishing high on the ladder?
Well, it was a bit of a question this week. I was listening to a little bit of a comment that was made that possibly, finishing the top three, those interstate clubs, they get a bit of an advantage because they get a home game. Now, what happens to Geelong if they finish top at the moment? Do they get the home game at Cardinia Park? No, they don't. They have to go either to the MCG or to Waverley. Now, is that fair? I don't think so. I mean, if Cardinia Park is not good enough for a final, well, I think it is. If Adelaide Crows get it, if Sydney get it, or possibly even Brisbane, if they get that home final, why shouldn't Geelong?
Fair enough, Mark. And I thought you might have been in Hong Kong this week helping us choose a new scoreboard.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a joke, isn't it? I mean, Lee Wicker, that is, and Max Bashir and another one of our ex-ABC people involved. They've gone across there to Hong Kong, sent 3 people to do, I reckon, half a man's job. Now, when are they going to decide on this? I mean, they're going across there maybe for a little bit of a holiday, maybe for a few drinks and a free meal. That's about what I can see of it.
I'm not having any of that one, Mark. I knew I shouldn't have thrown you that one. They're across there, of course, picking up our new scoreboard, a very important bit of expenditure, probably in the area of $6 million. And for mine, Max and Lee, if you're listening, I think 3 of you is fine. Don't worry about that. Well, it's a very interesting one, isn't it? AFL aspirations and AFL players. Last week, Mark Nally named Brodie Atkinson as his #1 draft in the SANFL. And Mark, I hope you don't mind, but we asked Brodie this week about his AFL aspirations.
Oh, if you had asked me that after the end of last year's draft, then I would have said probably not. But as I said, I'm just trying to play as well as I can at the moment for the Sturt Footy Club. And if something like that, if people spoke to me at the end of the year, then I'd be silly not to look at it.
Yeah. Well, we know my opinion of Brodie Atkinson. I mean, he's a very, very talented player, very gifted player. When he gets hold of the football, he does use it well, and that's his ability. I mean, he's not overly quick. He has his problems. He's only 25 years old. You've got to realise that. And then, I mean, next year, quite possibly that you will see AFL clubs going for maybe that mature player.
Okay, Mark, comments, Mark Nally. I think I should have slipped you a Mogadon or perhaps a Valium like I did last week. You're just a little strong this week. You got us into a lot of trouble again. And it's back down to the boundary line, and Rob Popplestone has an interview for us.
Thanks, DP. I have, of course, Sandy Nelson, one of the greats of Sturt and greats of South Australian football, is joining me on the boundary. And Sandy, you find time to follow Sturt still these days?
Oh, too right. We're very interested in their progress. The club's been, they've been down a bit over the last few years, but we're certainly right behind them, helping and trying to get the club back to where it used to being.
Now, a lot's happened over the last few decades in football in South Australia, hasn't it? And, in the next probably decade, it's going to be interesting to see where South Australian national football stands. Have you got any thoughts on where you see it heading?
Oh, I think it's a very, very important part of, certainly South Australian football, and Australian and the AFL would regard the SANFL as a very, very productive area for recruits and the juniors, particularly in this state, can aspire to playing SANFL football. If they want to go on, this is a good standard. It's a bit like the Sheffield Shield to Test cricket. It's a very, very important part of our overall football structure in this state.
Now, the last probably 7 or 8 years haven't been good for Sturt, but they seem to have turned the corner in the last 12 months, or probably 2 years, haven't they, under Phil Cullen? Matty Benson down there, a new enthusiasm, and on the field today they're performing pretty well.
Yes, yeah, we've worked very hard at trying to get some player strength into the club, Robbie. It's prior to sort of the last couple of years, it was pretty tough. The coaches were frustrated, and players would come and go from our club. But things have sort of settled down a hell of a lot over the last 12 months in particular, and probably the last 2 years, and we're starting to get some stability, at Sturt.
And just finally, Sturt returning to Adelaide Oval must be good news, and you'd be wrapped with that.
Yeah, that's absolutely sensational. It's something which we've been trying to do for that last 5 years, and we've just to not only have the home ground advantage, but just to sort of get our whole social side of the club back together again, and give our supporters somewhere to feel that it's home.
Come on, Sandy, thanks for that. Good luck for the remainder of the year for you personally, and for the Double Blues. And DB, it's good to see some of the past greats still following Sturt today.
Yeah, absolutely right, Rob. Thanks, Sandy, for that. In just a moment, we'll cover a few little Vox Pops. We'll talk to a few of the people from the Unleashed Shopping Centre about their view on Sturt returning to Football Park. But for the moment, we've got to cover the Footy Park scoreboard. You remember it's 21 years old this year. 21, well, there's no birthday cake, and it's ageing just a little bit. Now, we've heard from Mark Nailey just earlier, Lee Wicker, Max Bashir and Des Flavel across in Hong Kong looking at a new scoreboard. We believe spending somewhere in the order of $3 million. And it's an important investment because $3 million of that is coming from the South Australian government. They've got to spend that in case they lose the next election and get that money spent, and it's an important decision. But while we're all interested, of course, in the new scoreboard, there was some great excitement back 21 years ago surrounding the installation of the old scoreboard.
The board has three main advantages for the Football League. It's maintenance-free, cheap to run and very flexible, able to display not only the scores, but also huge letters, shapes and logos. It will be controlled from the grandstand, where an operator using a keyboard just like a typewriter will transmit the scores to the board in only a few seconds. The top 2 rows of the board will be set aside for the scores, and the rest will be devoted to advertising. The project manager, Mr. Terry Ellis, explained how the electronics work.
Yes, from the control room on the other side of the ground, an electronic signal is sent to each of these character modules. That in turn is given a signal to each dot, which is controlled by a small magnet. The electronic signal changes the polarity of the magnet and turns it from on to off, and then each character is formed up by having a series of these in either black or gold, so that a 1 would be everything black except that row there, which would be gold, which would be in the gold colour.
Electronics will see the end of board attendants hurriedly trying to keep pace with the changing scores and often making mistakes. The most sensational of these occurred in 1928 in the interstate game between Victoria and South Australia. At the final siren, the board showed that South Australia had won by a point. It wasn't until everyone had left the ground that someone discovered that the board was wrong, and in fact the game had been a draw. The end result was that the attendant was sacked. At Football Park at least, such instances as this will probably be a thing of the past. This is Grant Heading reporting for ABC National News.
Watch the replay on ABC. Well, it's live today up until 5 o'clock. Stay with us. Grant Heading, of course, went on to head up the news at Channel 10, and Grant, I think you'll enjoy that. Well, we asked a few of the Sturt people, particularly at the Sturt Shopping Centre, whether they favoured Unleashed Oval as the return base for the Double Blues. This is what they had to say.
I think it's a terrific idea. I think anything that can help with the South Australian National Football League, and I think coming back to Unleashed would be a really good thing.
I think it's a good thing for SANFL footy, yeah.
I think it'd be a very good idea, yes, and we certainly, as far as Unleashed is concerned, it would certainly bring the crowds back to Unleashed. Yeah, I think it's great, yeah, and I really feel that with all the teams we now have in the Victorian football, I really think now it's time we've spent a little bit more time concentrating on local football.
I think with the tradition that Sturt have got, that it would be really fortuitous for them to come back here. The general opinion we get from our customers is that it's predominantly obviously a Sturt area, and it's such a good setting for it, so I reckon it'd be really good.
It doesn't really worry us, we're Power supporters. As long as it doesn't affect the Power, they can do what they like.
I agree with you, so excellent.
Very good. I think it's the best thing they could ever do.
I think it's great for local footy.
I think it's a good idea. Good for the local football and bring people around, bring people back to the area again. Watch the football. Good. Real good.
It is real good. We agree with you. I should point out that everyone that we asked, there was not one person that said it was a bad thing. So for those of you who think we loaded that Voxbox segment, absolutely not true. They were the ones that we got, and they were the ones we went with out at the Unley Shopping Centre, as you'd expect. They're pro Sturt, of course. Well, the scoreboard here at half-time. 2 goals, 4-16, the Double Blues. 2-7-19, Central. 3 points, the margin at half-time. If you've just joined us, McGowan and Stevens have won for Central. Stanfield and Irvin have won for the Double Blues. And Mark Nayley, Mike Parsons, just have a look at those stats for us.
But just see, they're still dominating, aren't they, Michael, with the kicks department? Okay, there's only 8 kicks difference there to handball. I mean, they really have been thrown around a fair bit today, but we just see the start of the game here, start of the third quarter here at Adelaide Oval. We see Big Feast up against Conway. Out comes Powell, aggressive at the football. We've had a fair bit of rain at half-time. The conditions will be wet and they will be slippery. Scotty Lee in the back pocket. Goes out wide to Cotter. Cotter chips the ball out, looking for Swatala.
Sturt have got a different setup in their half-back line this time. They're just manning up right across the ground. Be interested to see how this changes from the first half of football where they had a loose man in the back line.
The Scotty Lee comes inboard. Play there and Lurs has come on. We will find out from Rob Popplestone who changes have been made on the bench at half-time. So Threadgold just looks like it. The Soderstrom actually up against Bowen Lockwood.
Lockwood was very good in the first half.
As we saw at the end of that second quarter there, the big fella Barry Stanfield kicking the goal, the margin back to 3 points. The Bulldogs still leading. High kick, great commitment shown by the 2 number 10s there. Girdham and also Irvine, as the ball once again will be thrown in.
Oh yes, there's a sprained ankle just as he went to jump, just rolled the ankle over. Gonna slow Irvine down for a little bit, I would think.
Ball back in, Feast, Arnold, McGowan steals it away, just puckers one up, and Hicks sits underneath it nicely at centre forward. Held in the area by Soderstrom, not allowed to play on, now picks a target, goes long and out on the lead. Look at this lock with the big fly, the athlete. See, I like this kid, the way he plays.
He's done very well today. He's been moved by Stevie Wright from the half forward down to the full forward position. Get him away from Ventura. Ventura was the one that was playing out at centre half back. But if he kicked this goal, it would be a good start for the second half for Central District.
He's got 2 points already. Looks for goal. It's an important kick and he likes it. It's a goal. So he gets his first and Central's get their third. They're 3-7. Sturt 2-4.
The start that Stevie Wright was looking for really did have a lot of trouble getting the ball down on the goal face in that first half of footy. Bowen Lockwood moved from the half forward down to the full forward at half time by Stevie Wright. Immediate results.
So back out to a 9-point margin. The umpire just gets Brodie Atkinson to check the pressure of the football. He will throw it up, as we've seen for most of the afternoon. Up against Conway. Coming through is McGowan. Read the ball beautifully off the palm. Great commitment shown again by Scotty Robinson. Just hit after he took it. Should be 25 metres. And I think he has as well.
What's different to the Wanganeen incident last night?
None at all.
Good common sense umpiring. Nobody's hurt. Get on with it.
So Scotty Robinson just received his 8th mark. Ball comes out high. Stanfield from behind. Over the top of Scotty Lee. Great mark. Needs to get up. Needs to get the ball moving quickly.
That's the first time that Barry Stanfield has been able to run at the jump at the ball. He just needs to get it back into his game so he can re-establish himself where he wants to play footy.
Dead right, Mike. Weatherall, left footer towards goals. It's coming back. Geister couldn't get there. Now, was the mark paid? No. Goal umpire said it was across the line. A point to Weatherall as we go down to Rob Popplestone on the boundary.
Thanks, DB. Just a couple of changes being made by Central Districts at that half-time break. Coming off for the Bulldogs was, of course, Mark Conway, who's having problems still with that lower back. Replacing him is Simon Lewis. And also Craig Potter's come off the ground. Stephen Sturt is playing up a half-back line.
I like that umbrella you've got down there, Rob. You look like Mary Poppins. Scotty Lee. And fullback Potter underneath this one.
I think Centrals have got a second possession from every kick-out so far, whether it's been Stewie Dew or Lee in that instance, been able to break up the zone set by Sturt.
Stanfield Mark is starting to have an impact on this match.
Yeah, he's starting to move around a fair bit. He's getting his kicks well up the ground, but still, he just needs to get a bit of confidence. He needs to get hold of the football. Archie. No real movement. Plenty of Bulldog plays. He goes for the torpedo, the screw pump. We haven't seen one of those for a while. Clears the pack. The mark was taken from behind by Raider. Raider gives it across to Lee. Lee goes out wide. In front was Conway. Good tackle from behind by Stevens, but the umpire indicated that just maybe a little bit too much force was given, and it just pushed Nathan Irvine forward. Irvine's already kicked one goal this afternoon. Went wider. It looked like it was Powell, was it? Or was it O'Leary?
And Mark, you'll have Nathan's mum and dad ringing us like Nathan Steinberger's.
Why?
Irvin.
Oh. All right.
The big screw punt that we saw from Archie before was a very poor decision. It just was never going to make the distance for the goal. And if he got onto it, there was two Central Districts players there. So it was a poor decision.
So Holm with the kick in the direction of Cotter. Cotter with strength, holds his ground and takes a good mark. Now plays on the left boot towards half forward. Hicks and Patura. Patura over the top. He is a great athlete, that fellow. Forces it down around the corner. Went Laidlaw. Hurry kick now, and Holm marks at grandstand wing. Ball now to play on. Chips it in short. Target underneath this one. Looked like Geister running downfield. Well done, Bretton Daniel. Gets through traffic and distributes it wide. Look at this. It's Lockwood again. Now he's deep in the pocket, but he is a right footer. And he could easily thread this through. He's got enough daylight to have a look at, Mike.
That was great balance from Brett Daniels there as he came in, took a couple of hits, evaded the tackle, and was still good enough to nail the man on the chest.
So Bowen Lockwood with 1 goal, 2. His goal coming just moments ago.
That's a good kick too. Not quite good enough.
1 goal, 3. Conversion is pretty important on days like today, Mike.
It is. Very tough to come by the goal. Oh, now there's a big mistake on the kick out from Chris Threadgold. Good enough to get it back, though.
Good jump from behind by Robinson. Couldn't quite receive it. Players coming out of numbers. The Bulldogs have them there. First will be there, will be Holm. Couldn't quite take it. Had a little bit of a look, then patted it forward to Gurdon. Gurdon very cool under the pressure. Still kicks it high, gets his forward a chance. Lockwood's held. Unable to get up. Plus he takes one very, very high as well. From Soderstrom will receive the free kick. First been held on to. Second just had his right jaw rearranged. Or cheekbone.
Yeah, that was fairly ordinary from Mark Soderstrom then. Not only was he holding onto the juggle, but I don't think his intentions at the ball were, shall we say, 100% commitment to get the ball. Something that Stevie Wright had alluded to earlier in the day, that it's something that Lockwood is going to have to learn to deal with, although that one was a very heavy knock. He is a good player, though. I would expect to see him shake this off, get up, take his kick, and kick a goal. It wasn't even looking at the ball. The ball wasn't even there when the punch went in.
50-metre penalty will put him right back in the goal square. Dizzy or not, I'm sure he'll kick it.
Now what's happened there? He was given the free kick for a high tackle.
For being held by the jumper.
Now what's the 50 metres for?
Something that's happened in the scuffle, you'd presume.
Okay.
Unless there's been a report. Or perhaps it's a late one. Oh, look at this. Look at the central players. Lockwood lets Threadgold know he doesn't like the attention. I'm not even sure he knows who got him. And the central players all went as one. They were lined up, and they said, if they want to have a go, we'll be there to give him a bit of support. And this is the thing I like about Central. Well, not the fight particularly, but they will back their teammates to the hilt. They were all there as one. Now, Central have gone back to the middle. They're going to bounce the ball. The ball's going to be bounced. Oh, then all the Sturt players are back there. There's no Central players there. They're going to go back to the middle and bounce the ball. It's the best thing the umpires could have done. Well done, umpires. Well done.
Yeah, good stuff. We see back in the middle. The Double Blues have got the numbers. Opportunity here to kick a quick reply. They just need to take control, give the handball across. They've done it to Judd. Judd will go in, just needs to balance himself, walk into an open goal. He puts it on its way, and the Double Blues get revenge. So maybe a little bit of undiscipline there by the Bulldog players. All they wanted to do was fight. Meanwhile, the umpires, to their credit, they've come back to the middle of the ground, they've bounced the ball, thrown it up, and the game has gone on.
Okay, here's the original incident that happened. There it is. Gave the 25-metre away. But I think that was an excellent piece of umpiring from the umpires.
Well, there were 8 Sturt players left unattended in the midfield, and Judd ran down and just kicked the easiest of goals. And now the ball it's an FAD. It's a free kick in front of goal.
And a report to Richter.
So Richter's been reported. And I think the umpires will just slow it down here, just a fraction.
I would have to ask the question why Chris Threadgold ran at Bowen Lockwood after he kicked that original goal that started the scuffle. The incident was finished, goal was kicked. I suppose in the wash-up it did get Sturt a goal. Interesting to see how the umpires deal with this now.
So Hicks, 35 out directly in front, gets one back. This game is going to fire up right now. It's being played like a final, and the players are attacking it with enormous zest.
No, that's the first time I've actually seen that for a long time, David, where the umpires have just moved the ball back, just got on with the game, let the scuffle take care of itself. They've got a reserve umpire that can come on and be involved. Soon broke up. As soon as the football was back on, the players are professionals. They know what's going on. Yes, you've got to stand up and protect your teammates, but the first reason that you're here and the priority is to make sure that you're kicking the goals, not the other team.
So everything's happening here at Adelaide Oval. We've had fights, we've had goals kicked in the last couple of minutes, so we've had aggressive play. Again, we see the Bulldogs go forward. Quick kick. Out comes that big fella from Ventura. Plays diving over the football. Up comes Sturt. He goes to the safety of the boundary line. He won't quite get there. Ball's kicked up high. Coming out as Judd. Should take it. Couldn't quite get there. That's Irvine again. Back to Judd. Weatherall's there also with Holm. Gurdon comes up with quick hands across the... Looks like it was Saywell to Atkinson. On again. We find Feast out by himself. Across to Judd. Moving up forward. Coming out as a big fella in white. Couldn't quite take it. From behind was cleared out. The Double Blues again goes over the top. Will he take it, Stanfield? I think he has. The umpire has paid the mark.
Great carry, Stanfield.
The third mark for Stanfield this quarter. Really is starting to come to the game. Maybe he's introduced himself to his teammates at half-time and they know who he is now.
Well, he looks fired up since half-time. I don't know what Phil Carman said to him, but he certainly is fired up.
We've got to get the atmosphere from Rob Popplestone at some stage.
As we go down to Rob.
Thanks for that, DP. Look down here on the boundary line. The intensity's really picked up by supporters and both benches. Phil coming off his bench on a number of occasions, instructing his runner Dave Tiller as Barry Stanfield threads through another one for the Double Blues and brings them all that much closer, just 9 points behind now. But he's just focusing the boys to go for the football. If he gets an opportunity to hit the man, do it fairly and squarely, but don't do anything illegal. Let Central Districts lose sight of the objective, and that's to win this game. And they believe now the Double Blues are right in this, and they are.
Yeah, plenty of pressure at the body. Feast are getting another possession.
Back in the bounce. Arnold it was who thumped it down. Robinson, the left footer, towards half forward. Big pack congregates underneath it. Oh, Stanfield is taking this game apart in the third term. 4 marks already, and we've only played 13.5 minutes into the third term. Chips it in. Well, it was a wayward kick. Oh, great commitment underneath that one. And the mark has been taken by Ferguson. Well, it was almost an afterthought to go for that one. He realised that there was no one else there. But that Stanfield mark set it up. Look at this.
Don't you love it when it just sticks?
So Ferguson, who got 2 goals, 1 last week against Norwood, his best is 6 goals, 2 against North Adelaide in round 2. Hasn't got one today. Lines up from 30 metres out directly in front. This is the one that can bring them back in touch. And it's a good kick off the boot. The goal umpire bends right back. The double blue fan likes it, and Phil Carman likes it. And the double blues are coming back.
It was great courage for Ferguson to put his body there, but then just stuck the hand in the air. And sometimes that funny shaped football that we play with just sticks in the mid. Look at that. Did not even bounce off his hand. Fantastic mark. Now we have got a game on our hands here at Adelaide Oval.
26 goals, 23 to Ferguson, so he's not always the most accurate kick, but that one was dead centre.
A free kick given to Weather on the centre of the ground. Again, we see the platform. Big leap in the middle of it was from White. Come down wide to Tower. This game has come alive. There's players inside. Back to Weatherall. Which way will he go? Just right onto your boot. He does. He puts it up high. Again, there's White. There's also the big fella in Burton. White ends up with it. Which way can he go? Wasn't quick enough to get it out. Great tackle, and it will be cleared by Hereda. Hereda up to Arnold. Feast is there. He knocks it the wrong way. Coming through hard will be Pachua. Couldn't quite keep his feet. Saywell comes through. Puts the ball out beautifully there for Lockwood. And Lockwood out in front. That's another strong mark.
Was that Chambers that kicked the ball then? Because that was absolutely fantastic kick. Saywell, was it? Running 45 degrees away from the goal, kicked the ball at about 90 degrees around his body. I know that the coaches tell us we've got to straighten up and kick, but to have the skill to be able to kick around your body and nail it like that, fantastic.
Jarman-esque.
Jarman is the best. He is the master at doing that, but that wasn't a bad impression.
So Lockwood already had 2 this quarter. He's kicked 2 goals, 3 this afternoon. Lines up for his 3rd for this quarter. He'll kick for around about 40 metres out, directly in front. Will make the distance. The accuracy is the only concern. His teammates are happy. The supporters behind the ground are happy, but the umpire's not happy. Only indicates 1 behind.
2 goals, 4 to Lockwood. 16 minutes into the 3rd term. This game livening up, being played like a true final. Great test for the double blues and Centrals. Look like they're coming back to something like their best form too the last few weeks. Stevens fights hard for it, feeds it back inboard. Holm, who's picked up plenty of the ball today, gets it away. That's possession number 15 for him, and Lockwood again. 45 metres out, plays on now, gets the handball away. Jew, 1 step, he's a powerful kick to left footer, and look at that one. You reckon there's some talent in that number 17 jumper. 1 step, bang, straight through the middle. Very few players can do that, Mike.
There's another player there with a jumper with number 4 on it that's got some talent as well. Bowen Lockwood has dominated his position wherever he's played this game. And Stewie Jew, that leg, we talked about it as the designated kicker when he was kicking out before, just pecked apart the Sturt defensive zone. And then, in that instance, reasonable angle, great kick for goal. It's just a fantastic talent.
2 other games being played today, but not exciting as this. We see Port by 10 points and West Adelaide by 2 points. So the underdogs up against the Redlegs. We're back in the middle with 10-point margin here at Adelaide Oval. Coming through hard was Feast. Players just desperate at the football at the moment. McGowan comes in across to Scotty Lee. Great smother there by Benny Justice. He's crashed into his coach's box. Phil Carman gets up. He's not happy with the result either. What will the umpire indicate here? Will it be a free kick? Judd's holding his head. Graham Dunstan there also, former Norwood player. He's voicing his opinion.
Well, Phil Carman can't believe it.
Which way's it gone? You are kidding. Oh, got
it might be out on the full.
Out on the full.
Out on good decision.
So play on the call, and Holm. Sorry, mate. I'm getting excited. McGowan inside 50. Marks it, and called to play on now. Drills it in short, and Atkinson cuts it off. The lead was on from Damien Hicks, but Atkinson cleverly got back and intercepted. 10 kicks, 5 handballs, 15 possessions. 18 minutes into the 3rd term, and Atkinson's been finding plenty of the ball. So too has McGowan. It's been a great battle. There's been some terrific endeavours all over the ground today, and that's a good mark taken out there. But Ferguson. I think it is. Ferguson goes long. Connor over the top. Archie doubles back Potter heads out after him. Potter did very well to force a contest. Richter fights hard for it. Over the top of it, Potter, as we go down to Rob Popplestone on the boundary.
A few interchanges to be made here by the double blues in a moment. Powell will come off for Sturt, and coming on for his first run of the afternoon will be Geddes. In fact, surprisingly, they've just changed at the last moment as I speak, and Soderstrom, who's been into so many things and is getting into trouble now on the boundary with Daniel Holm, is coming off, and Geddes is to come back on.
You're right, Mark?
Yeah, I'm just watching what's happening on the boundary line here. It's just all happening here at Adelaide Oval. As the ball's kicked up forward again, the big fella in white nearly takes it. Burton's there to recover. The ball is kicked out wide towards the boundary line. First there. Looked like Weatherall couldn't quite keep it in.
The intensity is fantastic. The commitment is fantastic. Geddes on, Soderstrom off.
Soderstrom had a lot of trouble getting off the ground there as he hit 3 or 4 players he ran off.
So Daniel picks it up, quick chip forward to Stevens. Stevens quick hands inside to Sturt. Sturt back to Stevens.
There is certainly pressure at the ball right now.
It is in the moment. Sides are really having a red-hot go. It's coming up. McGowan should take it. He wants to play on. He does that. Chips the ball up, looking for Dew. Some work from behind by Threadgold. But down the boundary line, what's happening down here now, Rob Copplestone?
Oh, this is fantastic, isn't it? I'm just going to go and get my boots. An interchange to be made by the Bulldogs again. Scotty Stevens will come off, and coming back onto the field is Sean Chambers.
Yes, Rob, you might get your boots and your boxing gloves. This game is igniting out there. Hicks dumps it down. We've got a 10-point ball game, and the pressure is building. Futura pulled off the ball play on, said the umpire. Judd couldn't get through and goes back after it. Over the top of that one was Potter. We're enjoying this. Hope you are at home. 21 minutes into the third term. A 10-point ball game, and some of the most ferocious football you'll see in a long time being played here this afternoon. McGowan chips it forward. Out comes Lockwood. Just missed the chest mark, but he had a big fly at it. Laidlaw doubles back, a left footer. Under pressure, he forces it wide, and McGowan sits underneath it. Marks the chest mark, plays on quickly. That's his trademark. This time he wastes it. He doesn't waste too many. Stevens over the top of it, needs support, gets it from Brenton Daniel. He crashes through. Coming again is Holm, number 16, dives into the back. He might have just headbutted Richter as he came through.
He did go in hard, didn't he?
He did, went in very hard, and Richter just gets up holding the cruet.
He's not the only player going in hard. There's 36 players out there that are having a real go at that footy. It's a great game of football.
The ball's kicked forward. Geddes to apply to Shepherd. Gives Powell time to get the ball back to Threadgold. Threadgold goes out wide. Brucey Lennon could nearly take it. It's punched away. It's still in. We've got a foot race between McGowan and also Lennon. McGowan goes for the boundary line. What will the umpire indicate? He decides to let the boundary umpire throw it in.
Stevens off, Chambers on.
I think McGowan was having a go of hitting it back to his teammate there, so he got away with the intentionally out of bounds.
Arnold Feast, ruck infringement picked out. It goes this time in favour of Feast, who is destroying them statistically. 16 and 10 marks, 10 hit-outs. Chambers just onto the field. Feeds it back to Scotty Lee, who's just quietly improving. Now threads it off. This is Geister down for defence. Drills it into Hicks, who's on the lead in front of Futura. He was 20 metres in front of Futura then. And he can go back and kick for goal from about 55 metres out.
The moves that Stevie Wright's made at half-time, switching around Lockwood and
blood
Hicks.
rule. Sorry, Mike. The blood rule. Umpire sending somebody off. I can't see who. Weatherall from the Sturt forward line.
Looks like he's just got a blood nose, I'd say.
Coming on is Joe Hicks. So as his brother Damien shoots for goal, Joe comes on for his first run of the afternoon.
And I noticed that the Hicks was asking the ball to be checked for pressure. It's the second time that in this quarter that they've had a bit of a go at that. So a couple of the players thinking that there could be a little bit more air there.
I don't know what that kick was about. I've got no idea about that kick.
He's 45 metres out. He's kicked it at right angles.
Yeah, they're 50 out now.
Up 60 metres out.
Deep in the pocket. He must have concussion.
The ball's thrown in. The Bulldogs forward line. Big Feast is out there. throws himself in the air. Potter a little bit too aggressive with the tackle, a little bit too high.
It was
and
high.
Feast will receive the free kick. To the big man with a shaven head. Kicks the ball high. In front is Judd. Should take it. It's uncontested. The free kick was given to Ferguson from Sturt. There's still a 10-point margin here. 24-minute mark of this third quarter. Stanfield comes out hard. McGowan across to Holm. Holm goes around with a good smother by the big fella in Irvine. Good smother by Irvine.
Yeah, that's a reflection of the way the game's been played all day. All the players having a real go. When you get that frame of mind, they're the things that show out. The smothers, the tackles, and now we see another good tackle.
So Holm throws onto his boot. Again, we see players rearing over the boundary line, into coaches' boxes, into trainers' legs. Gainer thrown in. Knocked towards the double blues way. They're first there to receive. Atkinson's there as well. Just needs to pick it up. Cotter won't let it go.
Central by 10 points. Big fellows go out of the game. Loose ball falls. Geddes over the top of a toe, pokes it forward, but the umpire said he was being held. Cotter, innocent as anything.
Who be?
So Benny Judd with 10 and 3, starting to rack up some possessions and make an impact in this match. Towards centre half forward he goes. The big fly Stanfield, 2 hands to the ball, brings it to ground. No marks at the umpire. McGowan gathers it in and is pushed to ground. And umpire Greg Inge indicates he'll bounce.
You just get the feeling that Stanfield is starting to find his feet again, and he's starting to run and jump at the ball. It's something that hasn't been doing over the last few weeks. It's something we didn't see in the first half, but it's coming back to him now.
5 marks. 4 of those have been taken in this quarter. And Richter, who was a headbanger just 10 minutes ago when Potter came crashing into him accidentally, goes long towards the point of the square. Big pack flies. Burton at the back. Off hands at Stanfield. He is making an impact. He gets it through. And Stanfield gets his second.
Yeah.
Third. Thanks, fellas.
Yeah, Stanfield's had 9 kicks and 5 marks now, and I would say that 4 of those marks have been in this quarter. It really is starting to assert himself up there on the Sturt forward line, making the difference. Again, you can see he had a jump at the ball, was fortunate enough for it to fall his way.
So back to a 4-point ball game. 27-minute mark of this third quarter. Coming through was Potter. He kicks it up high. The back was Patura. Just cleared him. Which way is the umpire? Come on, both players are holding each other. That is ridiculous.
No,
ridiculous decision. Look at this. Tell me what happened there. You tell me, David Mackay. You're defending the umpires today.
That's a soft one.
That's a soft free kick in front of goal.
An important time too. I'll take your point.
Thank you.
I think I was going to get punched out if I didn't.
So Hicks, after a very soft incident, the umpires need to watch that during the week. We see Hicks directly in front, 40 metres out, shouldn't miss this. He has.
I think the point, Mark, is nobody wants to see soft free kicks at any time, let alone in a tight match.
It's natural justice, I think, that point, because it was soft. Mark Patura has displayed some excellent defensive skills this afternoon in controlling that key half-back position. It's unlucky there.
Ball comes away, inboard Ferguson. There's an growing in stats of this fellow, recruited from Adelaide Uni as a full forward, now playing down the field. I think he's enjoying the freedom of being downfield. So is this man, Richter. Puts it in towards full forward. Under this one, oh, it's White, the big man. He got amongst them last week with 3. He really impressed me in round 3 when we saw them against the Eagles. He dominated that day. And the big fella takes a good strong chest mark, and he'll kick for goal from 15-20 metres out, directly in front.
He looks like a footballer, doesn't he? He's big and he's strong and he's got a good kick.
Footballer's haircut too.
Definitely a footballer's haircut, no tackles there. But if he can get hold of the ball a little more, then I think he's got a future in front of him as on the forward line.
Only 21 years of age. He's played 31 games. He's kicked 35 goals. Make that 36. It's a competent performance, isn't it? And he gets his first this afternoon, and a vital one for the Double Blues. And have a look at the scoreboard. They've hit the front. They're a point ahead. 29 minutes into the third quarter.
It's been a good performance by Sturt this quarter. They really have come out aggressive. They got the easy goal as a consequence of a little incident that happened, and that really set them rolling. Since that time, Stanfield has stood up, given them a focus down forward. They've got their run going, and I think they feel a little more confident that if they can just push the ball in long, that they're going to get a result out of that. And it looks like a little more air has escaped from that football, and this time the umpire's going to change it over.
Umpire Justin Schmidt comes off with the ball. Quite happy it's flat.
That looks a bit flat, doesn't it?
Pretty experienced umpire. And again, you've got to say that in the main, the umpire's done a good job again today.
We'll see our man on the boundary, Rob Popplestone, who's asking his advice.
Get an interview, Rob, quick. Where's your interview, Rob?
Where's the microphone?
No comment was the reply.
Another match is being played around town today. Port Adelaide by 2 goals over the Eagles, and West Adelaide trail Norwood by a point.
Now, this is interesting because there's not another football.
Interview as we go down to Rob Popplestone on the boundary. Rob, where's your football?
Well, I'm just looking around here at the moment for the footy. Have you got that on vision there, DB?
Righto, Rob, what have you got?
Well, DB, what I've got here is a Sherrin. I haven't seen one for a long, long time. But I tell you what, there's nothing wrong with this damn football. I'll tell you right now.
Is it flat?
It's not flat, look at that. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's all right if you're used to schoolboy footies, Rob. Are you amateur league coaches? Rob Popplestone, of course, the former coach of Scotch College Old Collegians, now with the ABC team, former Sturt player. I think you've seen a few footballs in your time.
The Potter kicks the ball, knocks the ball forward. It's only gone as far as Robinson. So after all that, Double Blues are up by 1 point. McGowan just can find the ball forward. Patura comes out, reads it better. Takes a good mark on his chest. He goes around his body, sees the running player up further. That's Irvine again, had a good third quarter. Well assisted by Feast. It's up there again. Stanfield, Burton, who will take it? Neither player. Archie's there. What magic can he wield as we hear the three-quarter time siren? It's 1 point margin to the Double Blues now. Mike Vic Parson, what a quarter of football. We had everything.
That was absolutely fantastic. The SANFL is alive and well here at Adelaide Oval today. The small crowd that's in today are enjoying an absolute feast of footy. They're on their feet, giving a real cheer for the players as they come into their three-quarter time huddles. Incident early in the quarter where Bowden Lockwood was rudely dealt with by Mark Soderstrom, really put Sturt on the track, and since that time they really have gone ahead in leaps and bounds to the point now where they've got a 1 point lead, and I think a lot of that is due to the presence up forward of Barry Stanfield.
We'll see the three-quarter time margin here, and what a game we have had. Don't leave this game for sure. 1 point margin, one of the best games we've seen so far this year. The Bulldogs, they're 6 goals, 10-46. The Double Blues, they're 7 goals, 5-47. A 1 point margin. What a game of football, and you're seeing it live on ABC Sport.
One-point ball game, not a bad effort. Both sides enjoying a very vigorous build-up as they run in towards the finals. Well, one player who's enjoyed it is a young 19-year-old Adam Switala, playing only his third game. This afternoon we profile Adam Switala.
I've just played the 2 SANFL games. Hopefully to have a good steady job in the sporting arena to make it to the highest level possible that I can achieve. I just play a bit of tennis, golf and water skiing. I think they're all pretty tough once you get to this league. I think it's a great standard, it's a great competition and a good breeding ground for the AFL. I think my family and all of my coaches, especially Wack and McLean. I'd probably say my first league game a couple of weeks ago. I'd say Roger Gurdon, our captain, most inspirational player. I usually get up in the morning pretty early, get a bit of breakfast and watch a videotape of the 95 highlights. There's a few same coloured jocks, try to keep the same shorts and socks on each week. I'd say Scott Lee.
Adam Swatala, a young up-and-coming star, and they've got a few of them, Stewie Dew, Bo and Lockwood. There's a changing of the guard, isn't there, out at Centrals? They've got some great young players replacing some great old players, it's got to be said. And some highlights, the third quarter, full of highlights. It was an action-packed quarter. Rough, tough football in the main, fellas.
Well, this is it. This is what caused the incident. We see there a bit of an early altercation there. Solomon came a little bit too much over the shoulder, but after this incident, that's when it broke out. See Threadgold just running to Lockwood. Lockwood knocks him over. The Central's players came to memory, didn't they, my Parsons?
They did. I just still don't know why Chris Threadgold ran up to Lockwood after the kick.
This is the aftermath of it. The umpires ran back to the centre. If you've just joined us, there was a big fight on at one end. All the Sturt players ran back to the middle. The umpires threw the ball up in the air, and Sturt ran down and kicked the easiest goal. At the other end, there was a report, we believe, John Richter was reported, and Hicks kicked the resultant goal.
Hicks presented himself quite well when he came out to centre-half forward. And this guy dominated the game, really. When he played at centre-half forward, he was there, and then kicked a couple of more goals this quarter. So when he started the quarter at full forward and kicked a couple of goals there. See, you can talk about hitting the bench. Well, he really hit the bench here was Judd.
Scotty Lee asked for no quarter, gives no quarter. Judd goes into the coach's box. Phil Carman comes out, and the umpires regain control just. So they've done a pretty fair job in the main. As we go down to Rob Popplestone, Stevie Wright, I'm not sure that he'd be too happy about now, Rob.
Well, he's not at the moment, Steve Wright, but he says to the players, the Central District players, relish the position you're in. There's not too many close games we've had over the past 4 to 6 weeks, and now we've got a chance to put our hand up and say, listen, we really are a finals contender. Don't forget, they've been disappointing in the last few finals campaigns, and they're treating this one as a finals campaign themselves. They said, match their aggression. He said, our fitness should stand out. He believes that Central Districts are the fittest side in the competition. The players, though, I got the feel that they're sort of standing around in the huddle thinking, well, look, this wasn't really supposed to happen. The Sturt huddle, however, was very enthusiastic. Phil Carman just kept on pushing and enforcing to his players that, listen, if you're accountable one-on-one your players, we are equal to, if not better than, this supposedly, top two side in the competition. He said, keep focused. He said, this next 30 minutes is obviously going to give us a great chance of securing a spot in that final five. So they've got a hell of a lot to play for, DB.
Yes, no doubt about that, and I think Stevie Wright might be very comfortable with the fact that they've got a couple of tight games coming to the finals. They've got a big home series before they've got a game next week, of course, then the bye, then the build-up to the final. So I think that today's going to be an important one. Final quarter is going to be a massive affair. As we look at the three-quarter time scoreboard, you'll see that it's a one-point ball game, 7-5 to 6 goals 10. Goal kickers for Central. Lockwood has 2, both that term. McGowan, Dew, Stevens and Hicks 1. Stanfield has 3. He was important in the third quarter. And White, Irvin, Ferguson and Judd all have 1.
We see the stats there. They're pretty even again. The kicks only 1 the difference. We look at the handballs there, 61, 66. There's nothing in that. The mark's pretty even as well. But we see the hit-outs again, still dominated by the Bulldogs, but that does surprise me.
Yeah. It really does reflect the scoreboard, doesn't it? I mean, it's just been a good, hard, close game.
In the other matches being played at Adelaide Oval, Port Adelaide 7-8-50. The Eagles are 5-8-38. So Port look like they're getting in control of that one. And Norwood 8-12-60 are leading West Adelaide 7-3-45 at Norwood Oval. As we prepare to get underway with the final quarter, stay with us. We're live until 5 o'clock. Phil Carman and Steve Wright will lead their charges through an important final term of football. Your commentators, Mark Nayley and Mike Parsons.
We can only look forward to a continuation of the intensity that we saw in that third quarter.
So umpire Derek Woodcock will put the ball down, start this last quarter. 1-point margin to the Double Blues. Fish gets his hand to the football.
That's a throw.
The throw may have been given against Bruce Lennon. It was. Hull quickly over top to Lewis. In front pack, should be paid the free kick or the mark will be Matthew Powell.
He's been good. He's been had a very serviceable game on the half-back flank.
Powell goes with the long kick. He's got Benny Judge there, can't quite take it. McGowan has played a very good game this afternoon. Back to Dew, back to Connor. Connor just chips the ball up forward. He's found his target. It's net player that's just come on, looks like Mark DeMassey. So DeMassey pushing it fairly wide. Hicks is there. Coming down to Connor, who's taken beautifully again by Atkinson. The umpire will indicate the ball needs to be thrown in.
The fist of Batura there to beat the ball again. He has been excellent. He's impressed me immensely with his defensive skills this afternoon. Reminds me a little bit of Bullis, who we'll see with Richmond later on tonight as they play the Crows.
So we really are looking forward to an exciting last quarter. Feast.
He has had
there with Arnold, sorry.
He has had a feast of possessions this afternoon too, up so around the 20 possession mark. For a ruckman's excellent.
Good knock on, couldn't quite find his target. In there was Geddes, ball smothered by Gurnham. Players throwing themselves in over the football again. McGowan there also with Geddes.
McGowan, another player that is having a good game.
A bad game. 28 possessions up to this stage of the game is not a bad effort as he comes through again. Take a little bit high. Atkinson had got the pace, but he's got the skill to be able to find Weatherall. Weatherall onto his boot. Kicks it high. Stanfield will use the body. Good work there also with him. There's Geister. The ball's thrown forward. Lee's in there. Sits on top of his player. Also, Jew's over the top of him as well. The umpire comes and puts his hand in the air. He wants the football as quickly as possible. The Sturt player at the bottom of the pack gets up very slow. That looked like Ferguson. And the 2.5 minute mark of this last quarter. No score has been registered. It's still a 1 point margin for the Double Blues.
Holm, kick forward. Demazi fights hard for it. Richter goes to ground, stacks on the mill. Gurdam on top. Don't forget, if you want a copy of this or any other game covered by the ABC team, the football videos are available from the ABC shop by phoning that number on your screen, 8343-4601. I think there'll be plenty of people wanting a copy of this one today. It has been a humdinger. Holm has brought a air of aggression and stability with him. Along with Potter, there have been two tough generators, Gurdam similarly. Matala it was who got the kick away. It was smothered. Now working hard over the top of that one, Damien Arnold. He's dragged to ground by Brodie Atkinson. Another tackle.
The chances of that ball coming out were absolutely nil.
Pretty tight in the trenches here at Adelaide Oval. We've just seen the ball just being congregated around this members' wing.
I know coaches love these games, Mark, because this is where you judge your players in games like this. You really measure them, where they're going to stand up for you in the tight games. And I think both coaches will be having a close look at how players perform in this final term.
Richter has a chance here to get hold of the ball. McGowan wanted it more. He got hold of it. Ball's gone up. Hicks takes it beautifully, throws the ball across to Potter. Pachura lays on top of which way will the umpire go. He says he hasn't got an opportunity to get it out.
I think he might have been right with the throw.
Whoopsie.
The flick pass went out in about 48.
EJ flick pass.
That's it.
Thanks, Adelaide Ram. Ball. Feast dumps it down. McGowan tries to crash through. Weatherall just clambered on top and went along for the ride.
Feast really is doing a good job in the ruck now against the bigger opponent in Arnold.
15 hit outs to 10 since half time, so fair point. Now an opportunity. Looked like Laidlaw pushing it forward. Scotty Lee thumps it down. Now Lockwood gets support, feeds it off to McGowan. Oh, stolen away by Atkinson. He read it superbly. Now gets support wide, ignores that, chips it into Archie. Archie has Richter running handball over the top, and they'll open this right up. They'll explode in through the midfield, and Stanfield on the left boot has time, and bang! 4 goals to Stanfield, and the Sturt fans love it.
That came from Brodie Atkinson being prepared to work, to chase. It was a poor handball from the Centrals player, but because of Brodie Atkinson's work rate, He was allowed to get the ball. There it is right there, always on the move, and he set the whole thing up. And a lovely little chip across. Stanfield continues to dominate that forward line.
Just watch McGowan over the next 5 minutes. He realised he's made a mistake there. He realised the ball was turned over because of his handball. He'll work now harder than he has this afternoon to get that goal back. So we're back here at Adelaide Oval. Tremendous margin. 7 points now for the Double Blues. A great opportunity just to consolidate themselves in the top 5. It comes out to Stanfield again. He hasn't got the pace to get over the ball. There is Cotter and Archie. You hear the appreciation from the small crowd here at Adelaide Oval.
Might be a small crowd, but they are witnessing a great game of football.
Yes, and they'll see a little bit of decent football here in the next few weeks too. Sturt take on Adelaide, South Adelaide at Adelaide Oval, and then Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval. So if you're a Sturt fan, the next couple of weeks are going to be pretty important in the club's history, and hardly a better spot to watch it from than Adelaide Oval, no doubt about that. In other matches being played today around town, Port Adelaide lead the Eagles by a goal, and Norwood by 15 points over West Adelaide. Midway, that's early in the final term, correction. Archie heads towards the boundary line. And there's a growing band of Sturt supporters. They must be sitting home, Mark, watching the telecast, and they've decided to bolt down to the ground.
Again, the ball's thrown in. Stanfield up against Geister. Player come over the back. The Raider will take it. He'll come back inside looking for support. He finds Lee. The lead through the middle of the ground. Got the running player in Arnold. Arnold across to Dew. Beautifully positioned kick. It's covered all of 65 metres over the back of the pack. Threadgold needs to show his leg speed now. With him is Chambers. The ball's kept in. Threadgold sockets it forward. Intelligent play by the big fella. Nearly a good pick-up by Holm. But good work by Threadgold in the last line of defence.
Again, you can see the advantage of Stewie Dew's kick there. It went 65 metres, well positioned. It's just a huge advantage for a coach to have that sort of skill level at your disposal.
Then bounced it over 30 metres, Mike. Atkinson off the ground, under pressure from Daniel. And underneath this one, Weatherald, the player we profiled at quarter time.
Clever play by Atkinson there. Realised that he was hot. Just put the ball in mid-air onto his boot, socking it forward.
Little 19-year-older over Stanford, little nudge. Oh, it's worked for him too. He had a little nudge and recovered the ball. Burton in the goal square, bang. They led by 7 points. Now it's 13. And you might just see a little nudge from Barry Stanfield coming up.
A little one.
A little one.
Oh.
That was a drop kick goal too, was it?
Well, let's just see.
Let's have a look at Barry Stanfield. There's the little nudge. At least he kept his arm tucked in, and that's what the umpires played before when the arm came out.
It's a drop kick. There's a trivia question. Who was the last guy in South Australian football to kick a drop kick goal? On his wrong foot. Julian Burton.
I don't know about drop kick. I remember Marshall kicking out a couple in a Galil Grand final when they were about 60 points in front of North Adelaide.
That was only after Tony Simons had a shot for goal with a drop kick as well.
So incident back in the centre of the ground as Bruce Lennon just taking a little bit of a high tackle on Craig Potter after the ball had gone away from the contest. You see Potter putting his hand up, looking for the football. And a great acquisition over the last 3 or 4 years. There's Craig Potter. Actually longer than that. It was back in 93 when he first arrived.
You have to admire Craig Potter's work rate, just the way he goes about his footy. I remember when I was at Sydney, he had a total knee reconstruction. You would never know it now. But the amount of work that man put in the gym just to get himself back right was amazing.
Kamazi around the corner, a high ball, an important one for Centrals. They need a mark here and a goal. Hicks took front position. McGowan stumbles over the top of it. Clambering through was Holm. He was tripped. Yes, said the umpire he was. And he'll take the free kick. Now, he worked hard for that. McGowan was terrific at the fall of the ball. He possibly got one as well. But clearly that's a trip.
Yes, that was a trip.
And Holm will kick for goal. He's only kicked a point so far this afternoon. 13 kicks. and 6 handballs, 19 possessions. He's worked pretty hard.
And this is the most important kick that he's had all day. The scoreboard, the way it stands at the moment, 13-point spread.
Stevie Wright knows that they trail by 13 points. The goal here brings them back within 7 and keeps them in touch. We're almost 11 minutes into the final term. And Hull knows it's an important kick, takes his time, stays over the ball, head down, and it was an important one, and he's got it. They're 7 points down, they're still in touch.
It's a real test of character now for Central Districts. They think that they're a contender for this year's flag. These are the type of games that you would really expect them to win. They've got themselves in a position where it's a close, hard, physical game. If they're going to be a good side come September, they really have to stand up now.
Back to 7-point margin here at the 11 and nearly a half-minute mark of this last quarter. Next goal will be very interesting. The ball's pushed forward. Weatherall from behind nearly takes a spectacular mark over the top. Potter throws the ball out at ground level. Richter again does some strong work. Tackled as he went through by Stewie Dew.
I thought the umpire had called a push in the back then.
Good tackle, strong tackle, pulled him sideways. So back, Justin Smith, umpire Justin Smith puts the ball in there. Weatherall intelligent, knock on forward. Connor and Archie. Archie goes back over it. The bottom of that pack looks like Spatala, was it? It's the first player in there. He gets pulled up by his teammate.
We've been impressed with Alan Spatala this afternoon. He's got a good football brain for a young kid. When he gets hold of the ball, uses it effectively.
10 kicks, 4 handballs to Spatala as Ferguson claimed goes to ground. Potter it was who got him and applied the tackle. White just forced across the line by Lewis and Scotty Lee. Just on 12 and a half minutes into the final term. It's a 7-point ball game favouring the Double Blues after a shocking loss last week against Norwood. I think it was, 102 points. Stewie Dew straight to the line.
That's deliberate.
And Brodie wants a deliberate.
There wasn't a lot of disguising going on there either, was there? Craig Potter considered himself a little bit lucky on this one.
Stewie Dew. Tackled, gets away the handball. Didn't have much option, did he? Now Brodie around the corner, out of bounds on the full. But he's fighting on, isn't he, Brodie? 16 kicks, 6 handballs, 19 possessions, but his opening quarter was dynamic.
He has been picked up by young Bretton Daniel for most of the afternoon. Not bad statistics considering.
Actually, there's been a few good matchups. Richter on McGowan in the second half. It's been a good one.
Richter's just doing enough, isn't he? He's just getting himself over. He looks tired. His leg speed is gone. He's just getting himself to the contest, reading the play, and then he just sits on top of the football. Stanfield up against Geist. A terrific knock by Stanfield. He finds that player Richter over to Atkinson. What can he do? He centres the football. Burton's there in front. Held on.
He was held.
Oh, I'm not going to comment. Putting the headphones down and gone home. See you later. Good night.
Well, we might have another look at it by Justin Schmidt.
And 25.
Well, you be the judge. Here it comes. Who's holding who? Well, fortunately it was obscured, but yeah, I think you're right. Burton's being held. Okay, mate, take your point. Laidlaw plays on quickly. Gets it away to Robinson. Drop punt into space. Underneath this one. Geister missed it. Just couldn't get clear. Ferguson thrown away like a rag doll. Picks up the free key. Has the common sense to play on quickly and push it in. Open space and Burton comes out and he's marked. 25 metres out directly in front.
You can just feel the Sturt Football Club is to sniff a win here, finding the extra speed, finding the extra desperation to get to the ball. Things might just happen for them.
So Julian Burton, one kick.
Started the game on the change bench.
Yep.
One left foot with drop kick goal so far to his name.
And this is an important one. He likes it. He's got his second. And they go back out to a 13-point lead.
Critical time of the game now for Central Districts. Really is a critical time of the game. They need to get the ball away from the middle. get it down into the forward line and get a goal. They have been winning the ball out of the middle. They need to on this occasion. But Sturt, really, they can sniff the victory until the players are on their toes. They really want this one. They'll set their season up nicely if they can get a win here.
65 plays, 52. Feast, who's rucked tirelessly all afternoon. He's there again at the bottom of the pack. Daniel comes up, and Atkinson applies another tackle. That was he late on this afternoon. Brody Atkinson tackles.
It's a feature of his game, isn't it, Brody Atkinson? Just always in at the ball, always with the man at the ball.
He's had 12 tackles this afternoon. Tremendous effort.
That's sensational, isn't it?
Again, it goes out wide. Again, it's pushed over the line by Irvine. The crowd really has enjoyed this game.
16 and a half minutes into the final turn. The game's still in the balance. It's a 13-point ball game in favour of the Double Blues. Holmes' kick was smothered. Loose ball falls. Gurdon calls for a cap, tries for a free kick.
I like that
one before.
Well, Rick, another match is being played around town this afternoon. Port by a goal over the Eagles. Norwood by 23 points over West Adelaide. Now, if Sturt win here today and West Adelaide lose, that will entrench Sturt 3 points clear in the 5. This is an important one for them. McGowan, a long one through the half-forward line. Hicks comes streaming out. From behind it was Pachura, who spoiled. And Atkinson just happy to concede the ball across the line.
So the look on the faces of the spectators, the Sturt supporters, they are keen for a win.
This has been a bone-crunching game. Both sides have been commended. Sturt really have taken it right up the Centrals, who were the red-hot favourites in this game. And their form, Centrals, in the last month has been quite terrific.
Sturt have just been at them all day. They just really haven't allowed them to get their run-on game going. As soon as there's a Central Districts player with the ball, close them down, stop the play.
Home with the free kick, taken high, said the umpire, Saywell, who got the last tap out, by the way, jumping over the top as a ruckman. Dumps it in long. They need a couple of quick goals. Hicks out in front, Pachura spoils. Threadgold grubbers one along the ground. Pachura goes back over the top of it, runs towards the boundary line, almost ran it out. Geddes back to Pachura in the overlap. A long bomb along the outer side. Who's under this one? It's Stewie Dew. Here's a prodigious kick called to play on. Gets it off now. And Geister feeds it wide, but inaccurately. And McGowan disappointed with the result.
It was a disappointing result too, because he could have got a clean possession there. Goalface would have opened up a chance to score.
So the ball's thrown in. Feast up against Arnold. Over as Geddes. Richter in there also, received some very valuable possessions this last quarter.
He's played a good game. Really is in and under. Gets his hand on the ball.
Johnny Richter kicks it out wide and high. It's Stanfield there. Archie the back. He can run to the goal face if he wishes. No players coming towards him. Scotty Lee's not going to. Archie comes in. Kicked across the face of goals. Bring up behind.
Let himself down a little bit there, Archie. If he could have kicked that goal, really would have been a great goal and set Sturt on their way to a victory.
Dew kicks out again, looking for Arnold. Good spoil from behind by Stanfield.
Stewie Dew's kick out again takes the ball way out of the scoring area for Sturt.
Good two kicks back. The umpire throws it in. Stanfield up against Geister. Again, they're at the bottom of the pack. Gurdon, quick hands across to McGowan. McGowan's trying to find some space. He does at the end. Across to Potter. Potter should be taken. He's not by Feast. Just pushed by Geddes as he kicked it. From behind, the play there and Massey. The Massey goes to the goal. Which way will it bounce? It bounces through for a behind. So the scores here at the 20-minute mark of this last quarter. Sturt are 66. They're leading the Bulldogs 53.
That was soft by Feast. If that had resulted in a central goal, I think Phil Carter would have had every right to be upset with his ruckman. Very soft tackle on Craig Potter.
Big fly from behind. Lockwood thumps it down. Patura gathers the crumb on the left foot. He's a rangy left foot kick. A long one towards half forward. Stanfield caught under the ball, thumped away. Scotty Lee goes after it. So too Richter. He crashes through, gets away the kick. Under pressure from Geister. Archie did very well. Feeds it out now. Brodie Atkinson around the corner into space. Have a look at this. Opportunity for Stanfield on the left. He's already got one on the left foot. But this one misses and is through for a point.
And Todd Ferguson a little disappointed that Stanfield didn't see him standing all by himself in the pocket. Really had a paddock to play in. It was only 20 metres from the goal post. Stanfield didn't see him.
Now, of course, if Sturt get up today, one of the longest winning streaks in football history will come to an end, and that's Rob Popplestone's tipping career.
It was my kiss of death, I think, the start of the game. Once again, I've done it. Put the curse on the Bulldogs. So Arnold kicks it up. Good mark taken by Threadgold. Started so well. Been fairly solid all afternoon.
Now here's a chance for Sturt. They've got a runner in the middle of the ground. That's poor.
Umpire's playing cool on. Looks like that was Richter again, kicking the ball high. Burton can't quite get there. The Blues have got the numbers again. Some quick hands will be given.
Oh, again,
that was White, could have given it back to Ferguson. Ferguson will come in out again. Geister goes to the safety of the boundary line. Stanfield needs to keep it in. He's pushed. The umpire indicates that it will be thrown in.
As we go down the boundary line, Rob, it looks like your winning streak of tipping is coming to an end.
I don't mind saying that I'm actually devastated by it too. I actually backed Central Districts with on the Johnny Thornton sports bet, thinking that it was a certainty, but I'll tell you what, the Double Blues have the chance now to put this game beyond any doubt, and they have the Stanfield bags yet another one.
It's his
so
fifth,
Double
Robbie.
Blues are home.
Yeah, it's his fifth, Rob.
Great effort there by Stanfield, been a match winner today, and obviously his class has probably been the difference in the end of the day. He's quite early, but just when they needed him to stand up and be counted, he's certainly done the job. So great effort by Barry Stanfield, and I might say a great effort by the Double Blues.
That's why they're quickly, probably some of the better players.
Some of the better players, I think you really, DB hit the nail on the head. At three-quarter time, coaches pick their better players probably when the pressure's right on. And in this last quarter, Richter stood up, Weatherald stood up, Atkinson's tackling's been brilliant, and also the man we just mentioned, Barry Stanfield.
Good comments, Rob Cobblestone. Good judge of players, good judge of characters. 20-point margin here. 23-minute mark in this last quarter. Due around to his left leg. Lockwood trying to take it. Strong work. Threadgold's in there also. Damassi's there. Quick hands across. That's Chambers around his body. The back is Hicks. He takes the good mark.
That is a good mark, isn't it?
Just steady yourself. But a good kick there by Chambers.
Had a good start to the game, but has been quiet through the last two quarters. Gets that goal. Gives Central Districts just a sniff. Brings them back within 14 points.
Well, that's Hicks' second goal for the afternoon. It isn't too late, Mike Parsons.
It's never too late. 23 minutes gone in the last quarter. But it's still, you're looking through the stats there, it's still very, very close game. The hit-outs may be a little different, some handballs a little different, but really it's been a good, tight game of football. It's there for the winning. Central Districts still have time, just rolling into time on. Only need 3 goals.
See a game going, 14-point margin. Umpire believes the tackle was taken a bit high in the centre of the ground. Atkinson's not happy. He thinks he received one also. But the player that's been minding him most of the afternoon, Bretton Daniel, gets the ball, doesn't deliver it properly, and Bruce Lennon takes a safe mark on the half-back flank. He'll look wide if he can. Needs to look for Stanfield. That's his target. Stanfield now moves up the ground, gives him a lead. It's a good kick by Lennon. Gives Stanfield a chance. His arms are taken. He's taken a bit high and does receive the free kick. Good lead, good kick by Bruce Lennon.
Stanfield jumped at the ball, but he's not at the top of his form, is he? He just jumped under the ball a little bit there, but he has been excellent in that second half. Early in the game, he was well held. Kicked 5 goals and a half. You've got to be happy with that.
So the lumbering Barry Stanfield up high. Play goes to ground. It's a good mark taken by White. What's he doing? The umpire's called play on. The Blues have the numbers. Ferguson throws it onto his boot. Chance here for wide again. Good tackle on Connor. Throws him to the ground. The umpire will come in and once again throw it up.
There has just not been a soft ball given the whole day. It's just been an excellent game of hard footy. As soon as the players got the ball, just been closed down and tackled. I'd love to see the tackle counts come at the end of the game.
Again, we see the ball thrown up. McGowan, tremendous game of football this afternoon by him. Led by example. The Blues go forward once again. Ferguson's there, he's been called out. Stanfield takes another mark. That's his 6th for the afternoon.
What a way of coming back to form.
Tremendous camera angle there. Right behind. You'll sit home, you'll watch it, you'll fold the ball through the goalpost if he's that fortunate.
You're saying that he's going to kick this mark?
If he's that fortunate. This will be 6th for the afternoon. He does kick it. He goes a bit wide. Wants to bring it back with the right leg. He's got the distance. He's got the accuracy. You follow the football at home. It went through. The umpire also agrees with us. That's his 6th. He kicked 6 goals, 1 this afternoon, Barry Stanfield. It really has been a match winner.
And I would say that is the ball game. And that man there has caused the ball game to fall Sturt's way. He really has been dominant in the second half of this game.
Well, particularly the final term where he's kicked 3 goals, 1 right when it was needed, and Centrals haven't had any answers at all.
That's got to be a worry for Stevie Wright. We heard Robbie Popperstone say at three-quarter time he was looking for his players to stand up in a close game, and they've sit down, basically.
Well, a discussion with them Feast, who's been terrific today. Off to Archie, who shows some great skill. A bit like Peter Burgoyne for Port Power. Chips it in, and right on the line, it wasn't touched. So they're out to a 26-point lead. They're running away, the Double Blues, and Phil Carman loves it.
Fabulous. Phil off his seat, giving high fives. He's a happy man, and why wouldn't he be? Sturt really setting themselves into the finals now with this victory this afternoon. Fantastic for the club. Been a rebuilding stage process over the last couple of seasons. After being down for a long time, there'll be a lot of happy people around at Adelaide this evening.
He took the job on with Phil Carman when nobody else wanted it, and he has built his side. Youth, a bit of experience, has given these kids an opportunity, and they're responding.
And they're recruited pretty well too, you've got to say. Folks like Soderstrom, they've got Archie back, Richter back. They've been important. And a free kick in the midfield. It's going to McGowan. The umpire said he was taken high. Now they're trailing by 26 points, the Bulldogs. So McGowan moves it on quickly, but I think they're out of time this afternoon. The Double Blues will certainly hold on and go and win. Lock with 2 hands. Chambers around the corner, gets the kick away. Pachura marks deep in defence. He's been very, very good today. He's held their defence together. Might get you just to have a look at your best players too, Michael. We've all got our own opinions, of course. Pachura, long, Arnold underneath this one, 2 bites at it, knocked out of his hand on the way down. The umpire said he had enough of it to count. Damien Arnold has taken the mark. So Central's face West Adelaide next week at Elizabeth, then go into the bye. Sturt have South Adelaide and Port Adelaide the next 2 weeks right here at Adelaide Oval. And you'd suspect with a game like this under their belt, their confidence will be sky high. So there's a siren. It's a 26-point win to the Double Blues, an unexpected one. 13-7-85 Sturt. Central District, 8 goals, 11-59. The final margin, 26 points. After a shellacking last week, a 102-point loss to Norwood at Norwood. And Central had a magnificent win over Port Adelaide. They have come back today with a fighting, spirited 26-point victory over Central District. As we go down to Rob Popplestone on the boundary.
Thanks for that, DB. With me, Sturt coach Phil Carman. Phil, a great win.
Sensational, wasn't it? We knew our performance last week was pretty ordinary. We felt that we could really match them up through the week.
At Barry Stanfield, 6 goals, probably a match winner.
6, was it?
6 at the end, but I tell you what, Weatherall, Richter and Atkinson were great all day.
Well, you can just see a difference. That we haven't had anybody of Barry's stature play for us for years, or since my time at the club, and you have a big bloke like that at centre-half. Well, that's a terrific effort, yeah. But also, yeah, so many other players make a contribution.
And there was plenty to play for at three-quarter time, of course. You mentioned you were playing for a spot in the finals, and with that sort of effort, you're certainly not going to be kicked out straight away.
No, I don't know the result of the West Norwood game, but it's obviously in our destiny's in our own hands, and we just need to keep winning. There's no doubt about that. We've got still a couple of hard ones to go, but geez, we can take a few positives out of this, I can tell you that.
No question at all. Anyone in particular that you were happy with, given particular jobs to do today?
Well, I thought Mark Couture was absolutely outstanding. Damien Hicks was going to be the real problem for us because he'd kicked 6-5 against Port for them last week and been consistently their better forward. And I gave him a job not knowing what he would do, but that was marvellous.
Young Tim Weatherall, we caught up with him. Weathers, we caught up with training during the week, and I tell you what, he's a nice young bloke, but he gets in there and gets a hard ball as well.
Yeah, he's a mean little critter, and he was terrific on McGowan. He stopped McGowan getting through the centre there on a number of occasions, so it was great.
Well, Phil, I can tell you that Norwood did defeat West, so you've got a bit of breathing space there in the final 5, so good luck for the remainder of the year. Well
Thanks,
done.
DB. Thanks, back to you, DB.
Good on you, Rob. Great interview. Phil Carman, Mark, delighted as he should be. I think it's one that he probably wouldn't have penciled in, and he's just ecstatic that they got away with that one.
Oh, I think he was. I mean, we saw him there just before the end of the game. He was shaking hands with his players and sitting on the bench. He just shows some emotion. He gets that feeling. I mean, we talk about the Western Bulldogs this year, the emotion that they're playing with. You talk about the Adelaide Crows and the emotion that they're playing with. But the Sturt side this year, I mean, they've got the same sort of emotion they are playing with. I mean, Phil Carman really has developed a great atmosphere down there at Adelaide Oval.
And what about your best players? Would have been pretty easy to pick some of the best ones out.
Well, just going through my list here, I mean, just going off it, I mean, Atkinson at the top, in no particular order.
18 kicks, 7 handballs.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, look at him, you look at Weatherall today, great effort, Ben Judge, Irvine, I've got down Robinson here as well, I've got down Johnny Richter in the last quarter, I mean, Simon Feast, he rucked tirelessly all day, just a great effort. Chris Redgold as well, I mean, at fullback, he started so well, got involved in that altercation there at, just in three-quarter time there, or during the third quarter, but he was still fantastic. I mean, young Patura, in the back line, he was just sensational. Barry Stanfield, what can you say? 6 goals, 1, a great effort. But for the Bulldogs, there wasn't that many. You say Lockwood for his effort. I mean, he kicked a couple of goals and gave him a bit of a target up forward. Daniel Holm was hard at it all afternoon. Look at Stewie Dew, he covered a lot of ground today, great kicking out. I mean, every time he got the ball at full-back, he found a target. You look at McGowan in the middle, his effort was just sensational. But, I mean, you go through there, young Taylor as well, Chambers as well. But the younger players today really did stand up. I mean, but the senior players like Gurdon and maybe Scott Lee today, guys like Conway, I mean, they really didn't give enough.
Well, Conway got injured early. He had a back injury, to
Conway,
be fair, didn't he? I mean, you know, really, what about, there was one report, we believe.
Yeah, we believe that Johnny Richter there in that third quarter, it was after that, after the fight that was in the back line when Sturt came back, they responded with the goal, and then it came out again, and a free kick was given there. I believe that there must have been a hit from behind play, but he has had his number taken, and who knows? I mean, have to wait and see what happens with Barry Beasley on either Monday or Tuesday night.
Fair enough, Mark. Final scoreboard here at Adelaide Oval. Sturt running out victors 13-7-85. Central's 8-11-59. 26 points was the final margin in favour of the Double Blues. Stanfield got 6. He got 3 in the final term. Burton got 2 in the last quarter. When it really counted, Archie, Ferguson and Judd each 1. Lockwood 2, Hicks 2. McGowan, Dew and Holm 1 for the Bulldogs. And statistically, Mark, you've got to say that there wasn't really much in it anywhere other than the times that went into the forward line. Central's had the ball into their forward line a lot more but couldn't convert.
Well, the stats are saying nothing there, really. I mean, the marks, I mean, you really can't take much from there, and also with the hit-outs, you can't take much from there. The frees are even, handballs even, kicks are feel even. So really, it was the use of the football today by the Double Blues when they were going forward. I mean, they struggled early to get the ball over that half-forward line, but they did find it.
And last night, AFL Port Power demolished Essendon. 50 points the margin. The MCG was a big one. North Melbourne got over Carlton today. Fremantle over Hawthorn. Hawthorn didn't score a goal in the second half. And the progressive score, that match started about 30 minutes ago in Sydney. Sydney 8-2 ahead of the Western Bulldogs. And don't forget, tonight, Adelaide take on Richmond at Football Park. It should be a good one, and you'd hope a win for the Adelaide Football Club. Tomorrow, West Coast Geelong, a big match. And St Kilda, Brisbane, Collingwood and Melbourne, a couple of pretty important ones. Now, a couple of issues. You took me to task earlier about the umpiring.
Yes, I mean, you mentioned before about the AFL umpire, and I just believe that we have got a little bit of vision to show you this afternoon.
Okay.
We just see here with our umpire, the SNFL level, very intelligently done, but this with the AFL, you can see here the arguments occurring. The umpires virtually are getting involved over there, but we saw today with the SNFL, they didn't get involved with the confrontation. They wanted the game to flow, so they ran back to the middle and bounced the ball.
Well, I am very unhappy, Mark, I've got to say. You and I, with the AFL umpiring, I think they are trying to take charge. I think they're trying to take centre stage. Good umpires are never seen, never heard. The game just goes on around them. In Melbourne, they want to dominate a game. They've got to get out of it, and they're turning us into a bunch of pussies. The soft free kicks I'm seeing in the AFL are a disgrace. I think our SANFL umpires have been pretty good this year. Even today, when that fight was on, they got the ball back to the centre, threw the ball back up in the air, and got the game on. Now, here's the fight. The umpires grabbed the ball, ran back to the centre. Have a look at the players. They soon sorted it out. Once the footy's game's on, threw it up. Now, look.
Nobody was hurt.
No.
Nobody was taken out. The players were just pushing and shoving, maybe a couple of fists thrown, but look at this. These players realise, the Sturt midfield players realised what was happening. But I must agree with you, the AFL umpiring this year has been very poor standard. The umpiring today wasn't that good.
I think there were three bad decisions.
And if you went through the decisions, there was quite a few there this afternoon that you could have called upon, but
what about when Ben Judd was pushed over the line? What about that one? Were you happy with that?
Well, that was a pretty tough decision. Just whose boot did it come off?
No, it came off Judd's foot. You watch closely. Came off his leg.
Which one was that? Was it Scotty Leeds?
No, it was
Ben Judd. He's done it. If you slowed that one down, I reckon you would find it could have even been Scotty Leeds' boot, but it did come off.
Okay, well, I think generally the umpires regained control. Phil Carman wasn't happy with that. He couldn't believe it. He thought there should have been a free kick there. Now, the big topic, as we go down to Rob Popplestone on the boundary. Rob, free agency is going to be a big issue coming up with the AFL Players Association.
It is indeed, and it'll be interesting to see how Peter Mann, the new guy up front, handles that one. I'm not sure exactly how it works, DB, so you might be able to run us through that one.
Well, if the player's played perhaps 10 years or a certain number of games at the club, and he's out of contract, he can go wherever he wants. He doesn't have to put himself into the draft. He can nominate. If he plays for Geelong, he can nominate that I want to go for Carlton, and I want to go there and I want to get 250 grand a year, and they just have to let him go. And that's not a bad reward for a long-serving player who's been a great player.
Sounds reasonable to me. The only downfall, of course, is after a player's been around for 10 years, I'm not sure that many other clubs want them, do they?
What about you, Niles? Did anyone want you at the end?
No, I didn't think. I made the decision to come back, but I was gone. Back gone, legs are gone, hamstrings were gone.
They've got an American. I think it's a good reward for top-class players who have been at the one club for a long time.
Well, it's tremendous. Look at a player this year. You look at Tony McGuinness, for example. He would have been ideal going back and still playing this year.
Yeah, he could have done, couldn't he? Okay, other matches around the SANFL today. We've got the final scores, I believe, and here they are. Port Adelaide have defeated the Eagles, and Norwood have got up over West Adelaide. Oh, they're progressive scores, I'm told. Thank you very much. And tomorrow, South and Glenelg play for the Peter Carey, Peter Darley Cup. It's the final score at the Eagles, I'm told. Noarlunga Oval, 1:45 tomorrow. Video sales, any of the videos can be bought at the ABC shops, $34.95. Don't forget next week, join us from 2 to 5 for the match of the day. Thanks to Mike Parsons, thanks to Rob Popplestone, thanks to Mark Nayley for your company, and thank you for being with us live this afternoon. We'll see you next week.
Everyone, welcome to the second last week of regular season action in the Women's National Basketball League. The game coming from the Keilor Basketball Stadium in Melbourne's west under the flight path of Tullamarine Airport tonight for the match between the Bulleen Melbourne Boomers and the Adelaide Lightning. Two teams who've had vastly contrasting seasons, though in their one previous meeting, Bulleen nearly staged the upset of the year in Adelaide. They pushed the Lightning, who have won the last 3 national titles, to within 2 points. We see that contrast exemplified on the ladder by Bulleen sitting in last position. They've won just 4 games, but last week they upset Brisbane in Brisbane, so come in on a little bit of a high here, and they will remember back to the 25th of May when they played so well in Adelaide. The Lightning starting to get back that form that we've seen from them over the last 3 seasons in the league, and maybe it's not a foregone conclusion that Sydney will take this year's title undefeated. Adelaide already know they're playing Sydney in the first of the playoffs, which are just 2 weeks away. With me as usual, Leanne Grantham. Leanne, as I said, Adelaide, they know what's coming up for them, tuning up for the finals. Bulleen, what's their motivation for this game?
Well, no question their motivation is that they're still in it to get into the top 5. I mean, if they win every game and some teams above them lose, there is still a chance.
The statistical chance.
Absolutely, a statistical chance, and they would have that in the back of their mind. Regardless of that, their motivation would be they want to finish this Link Cup season on a high, and if they can beat Adelaide, I mean, that's a super high.
What about the duel between Alison Cook, who is 2 points behind overall Rachel Spawn in scoring this season? They're going for the top shooter award in the league and, well, have been the MVPs for their team week in, week out.
Well, they have been, and I don't think that the top shooting award would be in the back of their mind in tonight's game, but there's no question that they are the two players in these teams that have to be stopped. The only difference is that they have to have some players from Bulleen to step up to take or to help out Alison. In Adelaide, they've got that in Porter and in Hill and in Kingy and in Dew. So from that perspective, I would say that Adelaide Lightning are probably going to be a bit too strong for the Bulleen team tonight.
Well, let's take a look at the respective starting fives. Well, maybe that person to step up is Karen Henderson. She had a 20-plus point game against Brisbane last week, and she shaded Alison Cook in scoring for the Boomers. She'll be looking for a repeat. And Adelaide, well, Rachel Spawn, she is hitting her points, 23 per game at an average scoring clip of 56%. And Alison Cook, she's averaging 21 per game. So it certainly is going to be interesting to watch that personal duel. And on the bench, Adelaide are welcoming back Sam Woosnam from the World Junior Championships. She was part of that Australian team which picked up a silver medal. Referees are Eddie Crouch, who's cleared the acrid smoke out of his lungs from Tuesday night at the Tennis Centre, and Sharon Arnold, and it's Adelaide in their red, blue and yellow strip, who attack first. Tanya Dew, a long-range two, all net. Brilliant start from the Lightning, and Tanya Dew, hasn't she stepped up this season?
She certainly has, and she's certainly filled some of the shoes of that experience that left the Adelaide Lightning at the end of the 1996 season. Bulleen in offence now. Henderson.
Kate Cohen, Kingy, great pass to Cook, unlucky for Bulleen. That would have got the crowd on their feet. And unusual for Alison Cook to miss a layup like that.
Well, it was a reverse layup and a little bit more difficult than a straightforward one.
Porter, she's really grown in confidence the last few weeks. She's got an almost arrogant swagger on the court, but the fast break for Bulleen, and Karen Henderson had a big game last week. There was some doubt about her starting tonight, but she's obviously not worried too much by that problem.
Well, I think that might be my error, as we see a terrific underarm layup by Joe Hill. But I think, Peter, it's actually Renee Fegan who might have a bit of a rash tonight and may only see a little bit of court time, not Henderson.
Well, unfortunate for Renee Fegan, but Karen Henderson,
who did it off the foot dribble.
20 points last week, plus outscoring Cookie. And that hasn't happened too often in the Bulleen camp this year. Looking good in offence, the Boomers, and Gayleen Mackay over the top of Porter. This is a sharp start from the home team. It's 4 apiece.
Great cut by Porter through the middle of the key. Should have finished off. Rachel Spawn, the best rebounder in the league at the moment, does it for her.
So a 2-point lead for Adelaide, and just one trip down the court in the first 2 minutes hasn't produced a basket, and that was the early reverse layup miss from Alison Cook. Otherwise, both teams have begun very sharply. Hand in from Porter, knocking the ball away from Mackay. Jay Kingy on the dribble. Carla Porter.
And that's the second shot that Porter should have put away. 3-on-1.
Mackay. Dew cannons into her. Cook goes up hard. She's looking really on the ball tonight, Alison Cook, like she wants to take it right up to this Lightning outfit.
Well, any team in the Link Cup is beatable, and Adelaide Lightning certainly are. Bulleen are cellar dwellers at the moment. They don't want to stay there.
Hill on the turnaround. Well, we're playing about 7-second offences at the moment. So far, the execution is there. Adelaide by 2.
And a fantastic crowd here at the Keilor Stadium in Melbourne.
Cook. Henderson gets around Spawn a little bit too easily, but banks it in a bit hard off the backboard. And Spawn, as usual.
Huh. Oh, I know they can be trying, but is that what's really bothering you?
Oh, what the gynecologist said might have something to do with it.
Yeah, look, what Helen had to say to you, I know it wasn't what you wanted to hear, but she is the top of her field.
Yeah, it doesn't make her God Almighty.
Oh, Susan, come on.
I know the risks, Carl, and I've thought about this carefully. I want another baby.
Hell hath no fury like a goddess born.
No more hiding my talents. They're going to be out there for the world to see.
The battle of the sexes is now a blood sport.
There's no more love in the world.
Got it.
7:30 Saturday.
Pretty Herculean, huh?
All new adventures. Hercules.
Melita, European coffee perfection.
Is it the way it's roasted?
Do you think they use special beans?
Arabica beans. Roasted slowly.
Could it be the way they grind them? Do they play music to make the beans grow better?
It's got to be the way it's blended.
Introducing new McLean's whitening toothpaste with Triclean. This is how it works. With daily brushing, Triclean gently breaks down the stains that can discolour teeth. New McLean's whitening for your whitest McLean's ever.
How long has this been going on?
It's got double beef, double cheese.
How long
all the trimmings.
has this been going
Plus a special tangy sauce. The Hungry Jack's Flame Grilled Double Cheeseburger Supreme. With a regular Coke and fries for just $4.45. Hey, how long's this been going on?
The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
My cow! Phew, it's the Milky Bar Kid.
The Milky Bar Kid is strong enough, and only the best is good enough. The creamiest milk, the widest bar.
Gotta look after my milk supplies.
The goodness of Nestle Milky Bar.
Ben's planning a little surprise for the twins. And it's about to turn into double trouble.
Thanks a million.
The guys are on the camping trip from hell.
Where's your sense of adventure?
They're in for far more than
I
that.
know a snake when I see one.
Something's going on.
Who'll win the battle of wills?
I'm not going to give in just because of a few poached eggs.
It's make or break time for Ramsay Street's troubled lovers.
We just don't seem to be able to get it together.
How do you mean?
And frights in the night.
Holly, come here.
When Neighbours continues. Moesha's going on a hot date. So what's all the fuss about? Tensions are running high on the hit new series with Attitude. Moesha, 6 o'clock Sunday here on Channel 10. And coming up next, Mad About You.
Neighbors should be there for one another. That's when good neighbors become good friends. Ooh, neighbors should be there for one another. That's when good neighbors become good friends.
This program brought to you by new 99% fat-free Jarrah Chocolate.
Tonight on 10, at 7, Mad About You. At 7:30, travel between worlds on Sliders. Then at 8:30, John Schneider stars in the gripping Night of the Twisters.
This program...
From Trafalgar in Gippsland, Victoria, the bushie learned to call the ponies from running bits of papers down a gutter. He adored South Melbourne, later to become our Sydney Swans. Cheered them on in the grand final. He tugged our heartstrings, a famous call of that bone crusher, our Waverley Star, Cox Plate.
The round Bone Crusher the outside, and Bone Crusher races into equine immortality.
Behind the binoculars, he was the eyes of the average punter. In racing heaven tonight, the accurate one will be wearing red and white, and calling him past the pearly gates. one more time. Farron Hotham, 7 Nightly News.
Tearful scenes at Adelaide International Airport today as a very brave little Malaysian girl prepared to fly home. 3 months ago, Siti Arifin had one of the worst facial deformities our world-renowned craniofacial unit had seen. All costs for her to come to Adelaide for a 4-hour operation to rebuild her face were met by the Gawler Kiwanis Club. And there were tears all round this morning when it came time for final farewells. It's expected there'll be further improvement in Siti's appearance when she undergoes follow-up facial surgery.
Bat fever is set to take hold on the Gold Coast with the arrival of Batman himself. George Clooney and co-stars Alicia Silverstone and Elle Macpherson have dropped in for the movie's Australian premiere.
Caped Crusader George Clooney, larger than life on screen, could have been any old tourist today but for the star treatment. 5 limousines drove onto the tarmac to meet the latest Batman and co-stars Alicia Silverstone, Elle Macpherson and movie director Joel Schumacher. They'll be relaxing in privacy until tomorrow's big event.
You are not sending me to the cooler. Didn't your mother ever tell you not to play with guns?
Batman and Robin is being billed as the 4th and best of the movie series. This time Batman has to share the limelight with 2 other Caped Crusaders.
This is why Superman works alone.
Although Arnold Schwarzenegger, the villainous Mr. Freeze, won't make a personal appearance, Movie World is billing the star-studded premiere as the best yet.
This is the largest premiere that we've ever staged. We've got 160 metres of red carpet that will go up and down Main Street, and the stars will walk the entire length of it.
It was business as usual for Movie World's own Batman star, making the most of the limelight before the real-life Hollywood version steals the show at tomorrow's premiere. On the Gold Coast, Jennifer Ingall, 7 Nightly News.
Good look. Now Bruce has Sunday Sport and Mark Philippoussis still winning.
Well, listen to the final at Queen's, big serve and all. Also after the break, golf, motor racing, cricket, and we won't tell you the score from Football Park, but we'll show you a couple of sensational marks.
Remember last year, North just got home in a classic at Football Park, and John Blakey rubs it in with a spray after the final siren. 11 months later, North are back. Watch the game, watch the mouth. 8:30 tonight on 7.
Family problems? This'll help. A cheesy crust double deal. Any large cheesy crust pizza with tasty cheese rolled right through the crust. Plus, any large pan pizza all for $17.90 delivered.
Thank you, Pizza Haven.
Call us tonight on 131 2 for 1.
Harriscout's biggest ever spot tagging sale starts tomorrow. Save a massive $80 off a big screen NEC 63cm remote control colour TV and pay only $869. Harriscout's stock tag sale starts tomorrow 8 a.m. Be early.
Things have changed a lot since I retired. We got more time to shop around. That's why we decided on Australian Pensioners Insurance. They offered lower rates and new for old replacement. But better still, they treat you like you count.
If you're over 55 and no longer working full-time, there is a company that gives you understanding, not just insurance. Call Australian Pensioners Insurance Agency. 24 hours, 7 days a week on 132 555.
Yeah, my dog's called Imelda, and we have exactly the same taste in shoes. Imelda? She looks at me with those eyes. She's just too special. There's plenty more shoes, but there's only one Imelda. She has got a real eye for labels. Well, with her taste, I just have to feed her my dog. Tender chicken and spinach. Bit tastier than this, eh? I mean, my dog is always in excellent taste.
The face of Ford Fairmont gear has changed, with advanced levels of performance and handling, and even more creature comforts, whilst new Fairlane gear has attained a world-class level of luxury and space that's unrivaled for the price. And just to keep you smiling, both cars come with a new 3-year, 100,000-kilometre bumper-to-bumper warranty. The new faces of Ford.
Good evening. The Adelaide Crows played North Melbourne at Football Park this afternoon with top spot up for grabs. We have a full replay of the game from 8:30 tonight here on 7. So if you don't want to know the final score, please look away now. Wayne Carey didn't take the field for the Roos. Let's have a look at some highlights from the first half.
Too strong. Hard to fly. Again, gee, his aerial works.
on song today by the looks. Jarman's kick's very disappointing. He may pay the price for Rock, who shoots towards goal for North Melbourne. Bit of fancy area work by Johnson. Tabani is okay. In towards Notway. Looks for the free kick and gets it for push. He's on 50. Runs his full distance. Then is forced to chip over the man on the mark. Welcome back. Hang on. Let's fly on. He's at the post. He's unbelievable.
The lip tap. So the doctor from 50 metres out moppers the high.
At Waverley, St Kilda made a mess of Carlton in the first 3 quarters, but the Blues staged a big comeback in the last. It wasn't enough. The Saints home by 31 points.
St Kilda played without a centre-half forward, using Lowe, Heatley and Hall in a 3-way full-forward assault. That unbalanced the normally rock-solid Carlton back 6 and gave the Saints speedsters plenty of room to move. The Blues struggled to penetrate their 50-metre line, wasting opportunities when they did. Moving all over the ground, Lowe was back to his best, and with Harvey finding new ways to feed the ball forward, St Kilda built a 37-point half-time lead. Kernahan booting Carlton's only 2 goals. Silvani was moved to full forward, but Parkin could do nothing to blunt the pure pace of the Saints.
48 metres out.
Chasing everything down, St Kilda turned for home 10 goals clear. That soon became 11, but just as their opponents started thinking of percentage, the Blues decided to have a go, kicking 8 unanswered goals to creep within 17 points.
Right head for goal, has kicked it! Oh, here come the Blues!
The Saints looked lost. Ironically, it was Joel Smith who steadied the side with his first straight kick and 6 shots at the big sticks. For a 31-point victory, there were plenty of questions to be answered.
And a percentage booster for Fremantle when the undermanned Bombers got smashed off Subiaco by the Dockers to the tune of more than 16 goals.
While Kevin Sheedy endeavoured to put his side's injury troubles behind him, the Bombers were minus 15 senior players. Essendon was simply no match for the Fremantle Dockers.
He goes at goal. Oh, he's kicked it.
Freo racked up 11 scoring shots to 3 in the first term, opening up a 23-point lead at quarter time. The contest became even more lopsided in the second. Essendon kept goalless, Callaghan cut loose kicking 3, and Fremantle raced out to a 10-goal lead at the half.
Got the distance and the accuracy, he's put it through.
But in the process, the Dockers lost Jeff White with a suspected ruptured spleen. The star youngster rushed to hospital during the half-time break. The Bombers enjoyed very few highs, Cransburg providing 1 in the third quarter. Fremantle, however, went about their business of building percentage, a 7 goals to 2 quarter. The coach's 3-quarter time trek was about as close as the game got. In the end, Fremantle winners, the margin just short of 100 points.
In all reality, we just have too many players out, and we expect too few to actually carry the load out in the ground.
Well, now we're 6 and 6 with 100%, so it's good. Peter Rensel, 7 Nightly News.
And in the game of the MCG, Brisbane has won its first game there since 1988 in style, belting Melbourne by 85 points. 2 games today and 1 last night in the SANFL. Under lights in Port Pirie, Central put in a big last quarter to belt North, while today Norwood beat South in the Curtin Raiser at Football Park, and the Port Magpies beat West at Alberton, but only just. The Legs are still sitting on top of the ladder unbeaten, with Sturt, North, West and Glenelg fighting for a spot in the 5. Mixed success for Australia in its Ashes Tour match against Leicestershire. Taylor and Slater went cheaply, but Ricky Ponting starred. We managed 8 for 220, with former Sydney University fast bowler James Orman grabbing 6 for 54.
A 3-hour rain delay, a long wait for Slater and Taylor. When their time came, both stays were short. Taylor back to earth with just 1, Slater 16. In only his 4th first-class match, James Orman, who played for Sydney University last year, was the destroyer. 6 scalps, excuse enough for a celebratory drink.
Yeah, 1 or 2. If I was at Sydney Uni, might have one on me as well, hopefully.
64 from Ricky